Alright, and I believe we are live. So I'm going to double check the volume. No, I have to have that on.
Test one, test two.
Alright, perfect. We are in fact live. Welcome to Dragons in the Dining Room. DMLoxy presiding. First thing I have to do tonight is give a shout out to Misrolled Adventures for a spoof they put on my Twitter based on our fairly recent Curse of Strahd episode.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Well, episode 7, so it was a few episodes back, but it
Do I want to know?
it bears a gander, so just gallop on over and
look at
Graze that.
DMLoxy's page.
yeah. It was well done. I got a good chuckle, and then
You have to look at DMLoxy's page.
we will just take it
No,
from
I am
there.
on her page.
I wonder why
So-
I didn't do that. Try Misroll then.
When was
It has been
from?
like a month since we did Nerevis, so I'm going to do a brief recap. And I am going to do that recap by looking at my players. So, first things first. Parisa, what happened to you last?
Well, I talked to a raven.
About what?
She told me that
A writing desk?
she wasn't. She told me she
And why
wasn't
it's
really
like
a
that?
raven.
Oh my god, I'm sorry! I was legitimately frustrated and it just kind of happened.
Are you okay?
I would like to warn the party that I excel with thrown weapons when I am truly frustrated. When I'm looking around, will never hit you. If you actually manage to, tick me off, I may.
This is why we need twigs, so bad things
This
will
is what we
happen.
need. I'm gonna try
None
that.
of us can even nat 20. Sweetie, I am a nat 20 tonight.
There,
Weird.
I linked the Twitter post in chat so that you guys can go find it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Thank you. I feel better. Now, Marisa, you were saying, sweetie?
There's a nat 20 floating.
Don't give
Thanks,
a wrong
Big Weezy.
answer.
Thanks, Easy.
Actually, there are 2 nat 20s floating as Miss Fatal Pillow gave us one last stream that was never used.
I will
And-
keep track of it.
Saltmarsh never used it.
I was gonna say, wasn't.
So,
No, we used Offman Salt Marsh unless it was right there at the end.
no. This was from before Saltmarsh. There was one floating going in, and I asked Doc, and he said none of you guys used it.
Okay.
Oh,
We didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Either which way, there is
Mm.
2 floating.
Okay.
Nice.
I have
He
a
should have said
counter
something.
set to go to.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, we need to keep track of those if we're not using them by the end of a stream. If they can roll over.
I have been.
But
Okay.
there's also a really nice spot where you can stick a D6.
All right, Parisa, you said you were speaking with a raven,
Mm-hmm.
and we are actually.
50 name.
As I do the recap, I'm going to follow up with each of you individually. Parisa, I need you, as you finish this conversation with said raven, to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Off to a good start. You want to use that 20?
Right?
Big Weezy says Raven said Polly want a cracker.
Do any of my Loxley abilities help with this?
Negative.
Not so much.
Great. That would be an 8.
All right, you look at this raven, and you have Akathor standing, and I believe Rogith as well, standing near you, kind of looking at you expectantly. And you realize as you break this raven's gaze, you feel dizzy just for a moment, like when you turn your head too fast and the world does one of those
Yep.
tilts. And you remember nothing of the conversation. As far as you know, this raven is a bird that was... Yes, Thaco?
Nothing yet. I'm waiting to see how this all plays out.
Apparently, with the DM having an eyelash in her eye. We're rolling that one out there. As far as you know, this raven just told you that she was a familiar, and the wizard that she was with tried to awaken her, and it failed.
So that's what I believe what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
But as far as this place called Barovia and Creepy Fog and something about feeling the need to protect this ranger, no.
I just got Men in Black eye flashed.
You absolutely did. I know there's definitely an eyelash in my eye. Sorry guys, hold on. Rogith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Keep talking in that voice for one. Last you left off, you knew that Eric had gone to go after the villagers.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Akathor were having a conversation. Do you remember anything about that? Akathor, you can feel free to chime in here too.
Sure, I would love to. I don't remember a thing.
Oh my god, you guys, come on.
In and out of character. This was like 2 months ago. Give me a break. We just got beat up by rats. I am hanging by a thread.
We were actually waiting on her to tell us about something going on with the raven, and last I recall, we saw a bunch of riders cresting over a hill with a crest of Silas on it.
Yes, and you guys
A plus from his homework, by the way.
you realized you were in the village of Hoof and Trot because I was tired.
Yes, that's right.
Because it's just a Hoof and Trot from the
We
city.
killed the mayor.
Akathor, you are... Disturbed isn't quite the right word, but you are taken aback at Rogith's being a paladin of Marasa. Paladins are typically of Hylor or Corridor. A paladin dedicated to the goddess of death is a little odd, to say the least.
I mean, I don't judge people. You seem like a nice guy.
So far.
Roll a hit.
Does that ping on my radar at all?
Which radar?
Just in general.
Oh, it's weird. It doesn't have the same oddity as someone who's, lived their life in a monastery. But because of your training as an ambassador or ambassadress in training. Bleh. Words. It definitely is something that you're curious about, but aren't sure if it would be proper to address.
Okay.
Do you want me to scoot forward or backwards, by the way? Because I'm like right.
Oh, you guys are good. I can lean too.
You're okay if you stay where you
Which
were.
I won't.
But yeah, you were doing a Darien.
Yeah.
Does she do that often?
It's just.
Especially when Joe and I are talking.
Here.
I'll be like,
DMK was nice enough to clip your nat 20.
I'll lean forward, and then 2 seconds
Thank
later,
you.
she'll lean forward, so I'll lean back. And
Nice. Nice job, JK.
Syrinscape is not evil, though. It's just odd to see paladins of Marasa, right?
It doesn't strike you as evil, but actually roll me religion now that we're there.
Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Which one?
Marisa, you can as well if you'd
15.
like.
Okay.
15.
15?
That's good. What is a 1 good?
Is that what you rolled, sweetie? Oh! Hey now! Hey now!
I'm sorry,
That's
what?
still a 5.
Did I miss something?
Okay, a 5, and I'm sorry, what was yours, Akathor?
15.
15? Parisa, you're like Marasa, yeah, goddess of death, that's cool. Akathor, you remember from your studies that not that Marasa is the goddess of death, but there is more to that. She is also referred to as the silent goddess, as she spent many years not answering the prayers of humankind. Originally in Nerevis, yeah, you're gonna die. When people died, they entered the domain of Marasa and were sent there to heal the scars of their previous life and prepare their soul for the next life that they would enter into however many years later. Essentially, she would recycle souls and send them back out. Think of like a less creepy reincarnation, but not back into animals, just back into people like hundreds and hundreds of years later.
Now, I have a question about the recycling process that she uses.
You can wait. You can definitely wait. And then she was kidnapped by an unknown deity to the land. And while she was in captivity, ended up having twin daughters that were killed when she was rescued by Corandor, Hylor, and oh my gosh, I just lost my own goddess's name.
Uh-oh.
Woo! DM fail.
This is my world. I know everything about it. What that name?
Lyrical. Lyrical. Thank you. All I could think was lyric, and that wasn't right.
I do that all the time.
And she spent years in silence recovering from that. When she did again speak to humankind, her domain was then divided into the warm safe haven of healing for some, and others, by judgment of herself and Corandor, the god of justice, were sent to essentially what we would think of as hell.
Okay. So she's not a bitch. She was just kidnapped.
Yeah. So
Okay.
to see a paladin of Marasa is it's unnerving. It's extremely unusual.
So where are you gonna go?
I hold my stick in front of us. Have you seen my stick?
I see it now.
Yeah. Why don't you give yourself a brief, you guys had a chance to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit. Eric, I am going to jump over to you briefly. You were speaking with the leader of this village.
Who thought that?
His name is Gain, and he informed you that your horse had very nice haunches.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, riders coming in the distance. You think they'll kill the rats?
Maybe.
Wait, who are... I never did get your name. That's kind of rude.
It's because you weren't listening when I gave it to you the first time.
Fish time?
Yep.
This is no time to think about dinner.
It's always time to think about dinner.
This old man is my favorite character.
Oh. He says he's a sinner. Maybe don't follow him.
Oh, I'm definitely that.
Well, I think we will,
And as he's talking, these riders come up. Whoa! And as they ride up, it is 5 knights in chain shirts with shield on arm, with the symbol of Silas, which is a lily on a blue field with a swan in the top 2 corners.
I'm gonna keep pacing towards the town with the townspeople.
And they pull up their horses to in front of where you are speaking to Gain. What goes here?
Huh? I'm Gain. Who are you?
I am Zachariah, the captain of the guard.
Pizer for what?
Zachariah.
You don't need to shout, son. That's rude. You're speaking to an elder.
Somebody please give me fireballs right now.
And that's
Beg your pardon, sir. What happened here?
Well, you see, there was a bunch of these rats, and we all decided to run away. And then these guys showed up. He asked me about something and said something about cats, and has a horse with really nice haunches.
Sir, can you please tell me what happened here?
I'm talking to you!
God, Krabby.
And you're an interrupting, presumptuous little muffin.
Okay.
If I still had my eye teeth, I'd give them to see you get a proper snot in the sock box.
Old people in their language, I tell you.
Anybody have a translator on that one?
Hey, football chick! Over there.
So, as I was
It's
saying,
hard to remember because
I
always used to be that.
feel that you are
It's over.
far too wise, grandfather. You use words that are too large. Let me hear it from one of these young folk and their slang.
as you wish, I'm gonna go look at them horse hunches.
And you can see they're all just crying.
I'm scared to see how he's gonna react. to
Rats?
Lisa.
Yep.
Thank you, football chick, for the sub.
Thank
Oh, thank you. Hey, football chick.
Yay, subs.
What has passed here? And
So far,
Is
nothing
he
yet.
all
We kind
right?
of got stopped. Sorry, playing with the humor. I was traveling to find.
Hi, Dr. Leach.
Hey, Dr. Leach.
Yes, the leech wants to give you 20, by the way.
woo!
I am traveling to find the son of Benjamin Cuthbert.
Ah,
Sorry, wrong voice.
That's what we're talking to
He's
now.
got some pretty good ears.
He's still standing right in between the two of you. Like,
Look at these Cuthbert, you say haunches. Wow.
It's been good, you guys.
thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
William Cuthbert, yes. I am afraid you missed him. He departed for the Shrine of Hylor early this morning.
Okay, well that helps there. But as I was looking for him, we came across this town. Well, I should say we came across the town folk running away from their town, and it was being swarmed by rats. So,
There's a No Not 1 floating.
Yay!
Thank you.
Please straight.
Yep. And with the help of a few others who are in town, we managed to get rid of the rats. I just went to gather up the townsfolk to bring them back home.
Ah, thank you much. And your name, sir?
Eric.
Eric. What town do you hail from?
None. I'm a bit of a traveler. I have no home.
Understood. My squadron and I were sent to Hoof and Trot as
She can't say it with a straight face.
Hoof and Trot.
We can rename it. Do you want to rename it real quick?
Absolutely not. This is Hoof and Trot.
Alright.
Oh, so we're not gonna rename our town. You can just walk in here and change your name.
see, this young man knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
Would you like some water?
I'm good. Some coffee.
She's got some water right there too.
Thank you. Oh, there. Okay, cool.
She's pulling.
How many bottles
This one.
do we have behind the screen? With this group, all
Pulled
of
a bottle of
them.
spaghetti sauce and a bottle of...
Tomato soup.
We are not talking about the spaghetti sauce anymore.
Holy crap.
Okay,
Thinking how many dragons does the two of you have? Holy crap.
I was sent as we.
Thank you, Krabby, for the bits.
Thank you, Krabby.
He says, with that, what do you call a wizard that divorced his spouse, Dr. Estrange?
Oh, it's a great day.
I thought he was a sorcerer, not a wizard.
Okay, well.
Semantics.
Tim is in the lead. I didn't realize this.
I win.
I'm only 200 behind you.
Holy crap.
So,
I've also given all of my.
Zachariah informs you that he and his squadron were sent out to actually
Thank you for the
evacuate Hoof and Trot, as scouts had reported that there were some ogres in the woods north of the village.
Oh. Yeah, about that.
And that there had been some random attacks that had been happening across the land, and it was
Yeah.
disconcerting.
About them. I haven't seen ogres in the area here, but I did happen to pass a few back that way. A few days east of Fort Kelly's.
You got that right. I'm so proud of you. Advantage on roll of your choice because you paid attention to me.
Yay, notes.
No, that's when you throw in some like one-liner about how you always listen to me and pretend like it's true.
Yeah, we're married. You don't listen to me. I don't listen to the kids. It's all good.
So this time on Jerry Springer D&D version.
Today on Mars.
Right.
Bet. You can watch him rolling. This is very troublesome indeed. But you said you've seen nothing of the like here.
No, yeah. I mean, we did have a nice little fight with some rats, and we didn't have any ogres come out and try and smash us.
Rats?
Yeah, they were kind of fugly. They were kind of fugly rats too. They turned into a nasty mess when they died.
He turns around, shouts an order to one of his captains, and he wheels his horse and takes off back towards the city.
I'm shedding into my own spaghetti.
We...
It tastes like me.
Yes,
I mean,
Dan?
your tomato soup and noodles.
Apparently Crappy's
We
on a
had
roll
seen
with all the
a
jokes.
rat within the city walls that was killed and turned into this pile of ichor, and we had a lady of Londres inform us that she believes that these rats are actually spies of some nature.
Well, they can't spy too well if they're dead.
That was our thought as well. So the townsfolk in Silas have been going crazy, killing rats. Granted, we've only seen one within the city walls that turned into ichor. The rest are just common sewer, quickly becoming uncommon sewer rats. But this is alarming. I understand there was there must have been more than one for the entire village to evacuate.
About a dozen.
Troublesome.
Oh, you do have to be warned though. They tend to like to split into multiples when you hit them.
He looks at you like you're maybe a little not quite. You're a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Any, motions for you to grab your horse, and the other three begin to help the villagers back to their homes and start patrolling.
And you and I were searching the buildings, making sure that there were no other rats.
Yes.
And Eric, do you just go with him then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys make it back to where Akathor, Parisa, the Raven, and Rogoth are all located. And these are companions of yours.
Yeah, well, sort of. I've been traveling with that one. I just met those two.
Hello, sir. Or madam. Sir.
With a name like Zachariah, it better be a sir.
I don't assume.
Start, you look more intelligent.
Ouch.
Moving forward.
Snipey today.
I didn't even do anything.
Not yet.
You are a monk.
Yes, sir. I'm from the temple up at Hylor's temple. Sorry,
You
of
are
the
a
mountains.
Oh, he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Who, sorry? Oh, yeah.
And you, most lovely of women.
And you!
Excuse me.
And you're not important anymore.
Where do you? He got a 3.
Hi!
Picking his pockets.
Where do you? Are you really? Roll sleight of hand.
How many of his troops are around, and how many of them are enthralled as well?
They did not see her as they went to assist the town folk in moving back.
So they're not around.
Oh, no, please don't.
Ooh. My sleight of hand was 24.
Roll me a d6.
Oh my god.
This is not good.
That was a 6.
You got his coin purse, a pocket watch, a ring of keys, what looks like a leather ID symbol, and a set of manacles. Parisa, roll me perception. Akathor and Rogan, roll me perception.
But
I
would
feel
it be
like-
perception or would it be passive? Because
I'm face down in the dirt, so.
Oh, I assumed you stood up. You know what? We'll go with passive.
Passive? Okay.
Then
That's
it
only
is not
Jacko has spoken
24.
passive.
It would have only been an 18 anyways, so.
Thank you. Akathor? No,
Or-
just your
that's a
passive.
15.
Oh, my passive is 16.
So that would have been a 20.
15.
Yeah, no one sees you
Well, the other
taking
question
this.
is, I don't. You might have been able to.
I mean, because you rolled a 24, right? I would have had to roll an 18 or better.
Okay, so did you get everything that you got off of him?
I got the ID badge, the manacles, a coin purse, a pocket watch, and
A ring of keys.
a ring of keys.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't help him. If he forgets and didn't write it down,
Oh.
that's all on him.
He got stuff.
You
Well, actually, it's going to be a little bit different.
it is.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
When I pull out the pocket watch, does it look like it's got an engraving or anything on it?
It does. It has what
it
looks
comes
like
from the
his
state.
family name on the back, and as you open
And
it,
goes right back.
roll me another sleight of hand to put it back.
Oh, God.
Can I roll perception?
No.
That would be a 10.
Oh, no.
Most beautiful of ladies. He's rolling a disadvantage.
Can you try sticking it with your knife next and see if maybe he'll notice that?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, when I look at the ID badge,
Yes.
does that look like it is something of his rank and station?
Yes. Roll me another sleight of hand.
Oh, dear Lord.
Maybe we just put this stuff on the ground.
22.
Sir, you
Dang
dropped
it,
this.
that was a good one too.
And
Are you quite all right? Were you harmed in the battle?
I am just fine.
Yes, you are. I mean, excuse me.
You got a little bit of drool there, sir.
Oh, thank you.
excuse me.
Yes.
Your keys.
Oh, and he, hurriedly looks up. Where did you find these?
They were sliding off your belt, so I decided to catch them before they hit the ground.
I don't know him.
You know when I told you I loved you? I lied.
We'll be like, we should back away.
Does this look familiar and does your neck hurt?
Yes and no.
I can fix that. I know where you sleep.
I would hope so.
I mean, it's your husband.
That was a little creepy. You know what would go really good with that?
I would like to inform chat that Give Nat Fireball is live. Very live and encouraged.
Everyone just dumps their dragons.
The DM threats begin.
Crowd
May I
guys just
have
going
your
crazy about
name?
shoot jokes. So
Oh,
Did you do it again?
no, I got a cramp in my leg.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we call that karma. Marisa,
That was good. Right up the back of the
God has spoken. Marasa
Here's your keys.
Marasa have come down and
I know, right?
smited
yes,
me.
yes, DMK. There's a give Nat Fireball in chat. It's 500 dragon scales, and it basically immediately drops a fireball on the party if the insane die rolls 20.
It's a 5% chance.
might I have your name?
My name is Parisa.
Ah, Lady Parisa. Do you have
Dr. Leech.
I love you so much right now.
I'm gonna kill your
Dr.
character
Leach,
next
I'm doing
time.
advantage with the DM.
Who would not die?
I did not touch you
I
or
said
not.
he.
Oh.
Dr. Leech.
And Krabby Patty, I'm sure his. Oh yeah, he did.
I have not touched anything.
I don't know where he dropped it.
Okay, then I will roll a d20. That's essentially what it is, yes?
It has to be
Anything,
20 has to be
anything
And it
other
has
than
to
a-
be a 20. I was
Yep.
going to say a 1.
Nope, 20. Because there's only 120 on the on that
There's
D20.
Oh, does it really matter?
It could be 1-5.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to be a 20.
I was just
Has
saying,
to
you
come
just have to
between 1
pick
and
the
20.
number that you're gonna roll.
Just pick a number between 1 and 20 and then
As
roll
the
that
village
number.
goes into flames. Where is it?
It was not a 20, it was a 4. But didn't you say there was one floating?
Nat 20 is floating, yes.
There are
You know, I thought you...
20s floating and then a one, no, not one floating as well.
We'll find it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what he did with it.
He probably took it home on accident.
It's possible.
Okay, so... Lady Parisa, do you have dinner plans?
I don't know, Akathor, do we have dinner plans?
I do not know. I'm.
Oh, I beg
but
your
a
pardon.
simple-
Are you betrothed to this?
Oh, no, he's just...
Oh, and then he like pushes you back up. Please,
But no, sir, I flew.
come ride back to the barracks with me. We will get your party medical attention, and you may dine with me.
Okay.
Like, okay, to paint this for you, he's hot.
Okay.
So another one.
He's really cute. Think,
Brodicious.
like, if Jason Momoa had a younger brother. Yeah.
Do you have a twin, by the way? Is that correct?
No.
We have horses.
Dude, if it's a young Jason Momoa, Agathor is interesting too. Jason Momoa.
Did you guys see?
Yeah.
So apparently Krabby Patty wants him to be taken, and the says cheater.
Hey, this is Parisa, not Vistra.
Of course, Momoa makes an appearance.
Oh my gosh.
I will
Krabby.
also inform you, Lady Parisa, I speak the common tongue and know more words than no.
Wait,
Good to know.
Are you immune to disease?
Too soon! Too soon!
Oh my. So yeah, I will totally go with him.
Okay. He will help you up onto his horse and take you over to your horse, and his lieutenants are kind of doing this as they... Oh, he makes it.
Okay.
Dragons in the Dark has returned.
He makes it. Captain.
Big Wheezy.
Captain.
No.
You always have me, Wheezy.
You can have him.
Oh.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
He's really fun to D&D with. He DMs. He's house trained. He can cook for himself. You have to clean up after him once in a while. He's a bit of a night owl, but I think that's all you need.
Wow.
You just have to return him when you're done.
It's alright. She's my daughter. I can ground her.
Wait, who ground who? Why?
Careful what you say, kiddo.
The peanut gallery is throwing shade.
Oh, what did the peanut gallery say?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're.
I missed it. Someone clue me in.
She said once in a while.
You have to clean up after me once in a while.
She's not wrong.
You're still my daughter and I can ground you. Careful what you say.
Wow.
I'm your mom. I can unground you.
I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
Gary's
would-
So, one of the other lieutenants seems to kind of startle a bit, and then
You're being hit.
soldier.
By Big Wheezy. By the way.
Yes, sir. My apologies. I've never. Well, you must. Loxlies are not common in this area, ma'am.
It's okay, I understand.
So gracious. And he just kind of wanders off. Agathor and Rogoth, what are you two up to now that Parisa has been ensorcelled away?
And I've been pushed down into the dirt twice. My pride hurt.
To be fair, he said that they would provide medical attention for my party members.
Yeah, maybe she just has your best interest at heart. She's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at Zachariah.
I mean, it was supposed to, Dr. Leach. It just didn't happen.
Well, so if we are hitching up and moving on, then I will hitch up and move on.
Yeah, you guys mount up and begin your canter out of Hoof and Trot and head back on your way into the city of Silas. Rogoth, I need you to make me a charisma save.
That would be a 13.
A 13. As you see the city walls, you have images flash through your mind of what you believe Silas to look like, and it doesn't quite match up. It's one of those, you feel like your past is getting the better of you a little bit for a moment, almost like a lucid dream, and then everything stabilizes and is normal. Almost like someone had two negatives of a photo taken years apart and did this with them.
Ah.
Yeah. Thought you'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Oh my lord.
So I'm going.
They can't dex save when it's the size of the moon.
True enough.
All I can think of now is the moon in Majora's Mask.
Oh.
Right.
That's creepy.
You guys make your way into the city of Silas. Immediately you are brought to the guardhouse. Potions are handed out. There is tons of food. It's almost a tavern-like atmosphere, except there's no alcohol. It's like this is the commons, and there's food available, there's drinks available, non-alcoholic drinks available. There's weapon racks and everything else. Zachariah returns a short time later to let you know, I've informed the king of what has happened in Hoof and Trot. And you all have his...
Gratitude?
Thank you for the word, yes. And... The DM's fired because I don't have my map in front of me.
No.
I am very fired because I did have it. And it was one of those, I set it down. I have it!
Yeah.
I have the map! So this is the city of Silas. I am actually going to hand it to you guys and let you pass it around. This is my baby. I spent months on this. This is 100% custom map.
And also the only copy.
Yeah.
So,
why are you...
So don't mess with it.
Everyone except Joe can look at this. Zacho's not allowed. He can just suffer and stumble around.
Un momento.
I'm actually going to do that too.
What? Nope. I had the idea first. My idea means you can't do it.
I would actually highly suggest taking a picture of it, and I will point out areas. Parisa, you are overwhelmed.
Yep.
We can
You
I was gonna say, can we put it in stream?
feel a little...
Nauseous.
You feel a little bit more at ease in this building as it's made of wood. The barracks are kind of log...
He already has one DMK. He doesn't even have one.
Thanks. Log cabin-ish build, but the walls are stone. Many of the buildings are stone, and it's very different. You feel almost as if your connection to the woods is dampened here,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in a guardhouse full of weapons.
Thank you.
I need you to roll me a con save.
Whom?
Parisa.
That wasn't terrible. 13.
Oh shit!
You-
I didn't mean to do that.
Look pale.
My bronzy brown skin
With-
is slightly less bronzy brown.
Yeah, with your passives, all 3 of your party members notice that you look like you're feeling a little. Don't even care. So here's the main gate you came in. Hoof and Trot is out this way. You guys are in that circular building right there.
Good to know.
The main thoroughfare is a pretty big road. This down here is the port side of the city that goes out to the sea. You want to pull up the map of
Yeah, where it's on.
Nerevis? You have it on the back of your character sheet. Hey!
I think that's north, correct? If I have it in the right orientation.
Yes.
Yeah, just hold it up there for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Vanna.
Would you like to buy a vowel? And it's
Funny.
it is loud. It is boisterous. It's a city.
Krabby wants to know how far Hoof and Trot was from Silas.
Hoof and Trot is only a couple.
Just over yonder.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Big for your life at this point. About 2.5 miles. So it really is just a Hoof and Trot away.
It's just over yonder.
Over
In between Hoof and Trot and Silas, there are a lot of fields. It seems like there's a lot of farmlands. Everything you see is cultivated. It's like 2.5 miles of Iowa, except there's a lot more than corn here.
Right, it's after dark.
Thank you, Krabby.
Wait, what?
Krabby's got
Nothing.
my back.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am going to give you guys initiative at this point. Zachariah lets you know you are more than welcome to spend your first night here if you would like. Otherwise, explore the city. Parisa, you know you are supposed to head to the ambassador's building at some point. Yes.
Do you want more coffee?
You know, I think I'm gonna wait for a little bit, but
You
thank
should
you.
have her over more often. She's so sweet.
I know, she's nice to me.
Huh?
Weren't you listening?
No, we're married. You missed that.
So, Zachariah seems quite taken with you. He seems nice.
He does seem nice.
Alright, are you gonna go spend the night with him? That was a weird question.
That was
I'm gonna
wow.
go over here.
I'm just gonna go around the table. Parisa, I'm gonna start with you. There is a page that lets you know they will run wow, words are hard when you're DMing. They will bring a missive to the ambassador's quarters, letting your mother know that you have arrived.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little excited you haven't seen her in like a year.
Okay.
Oi, small female child, get ready to go. You got 15 minutes before you leave. No, you're fine. You're fine. You don't
You're
need to
not
leave
a
till
small
7.
female child.
They said between 7 and 7:30.
You're gonna hoof and trot it?
She's gotta
Do you want me to do it instead since I'm not playing?
That's fine. I just would have to give you
That's
the
just a short.
address. Thanks, Leech.
She lives
I needed that
right
tonight.
down 38
Also,
half
think
hour
about
away.
Jason
Okay.
Momoa.
I'm sorry.
Just think about Jason Momoa.
We won't get anywhere. We'll be at an inn. It's
Yeah,
Ben's version of at an inn.
But you'll be more comfortable.
Can she tell me where I'm
So-
going, or do I need an address?
She's never been there.
Okay. Do you
Well,
have an address?
I do have the address.
the
Actually,
sticky notes are right in front of you.
please hold. I'm pulling up the address right now.
In front of her, not me. Okay.
Be the-
Yeah. Oops. Stop it. Stop it.
There you go.
Just show it to me so I can-
Yeah, right
I'm
there.
just waiting for Ellison to just go.
So am I. One of these days I'm going to do that. It's
Turns out the mats are made out of gasoline.
I lost it.
Oh, good grief, right there.
Wait, Krabby's fighting for Zach? I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
confused.
he wants
Yeah.
Momoa too.
Zach Momoa.
Oh, gotcha.
Got it.
Thank you.
No
It's
problem.
when I put it into Google, it was like less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's not far away, but
Thank you, Mo.
I won't remember.
Okay, so back to the game. Meanwhile, back in
roll
the
a
city.
seduction against Zachary Momoa.
Go ahead.
The DC is 62.
My roll is 61. I almost got to first base.
Terrible.
I mean,
Marisa, what would you like to do?
I would like to.
An evil moose lumbers toward Super Yes!
No, that's TRG.
My
It's
sister
Ben.
was once bit by a moose.
Her evil moose.
It's
that's very
Sven.
funny.
Sven, the evil
Sven.
moose.
All of my evil pets are named Sven.
Can I just is anyone else old enough to remember the cartoon version of Ace Ventura Pet Detective where there
Yep.
was the weremoose?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, because that's all I can think of right now.
It's been a long time since I've
Never
seen it.
saw it.
Or
I
I've seen
forgot
once,
about it
but-
until I saw that.
Maybe only seen it once, but
They're weremoose. Parisa, what would you like to do?
I would like to take Zachariah's. What?
These broken wings.
Set me
funny.
free. Mr. Mist is so amazing.
I would like to take Zachariah up on his offer for dinner, if that's still on the table.
Oh, it is most definitely on the table.
And then,
And I will actually get back to you on that one because it is approaching dinner time.
Do you remember the last time you were invited to dinner? You wound up becoming, I don't know, bitten?
or I never got bitten.
I think she's not going to complain if Jason Momoa bites.
I mean, no, I wouldn't.
Jason Momoa, if you ever watch this, I love you.
can't tell that she's a fangirl or anything.
I just need to throw that out there.
What an octopus spell? What? Carving?
That will never amount to anything, but if somehow
Jason
it does.
Momoa was Aquaman. A water octopus spell will not work on him. He'll just talk to the octopus and make it a friend.
Wait, did you say octopus or aquapus?
Yes.
Because that works.
Octopus.
This isn't fun anymore. I'll get back to you. Ryan! Help me!
So are there any tapestries?
Oh!
That's not the right face.
And we are
we're done
seriously in D&D After Dark.
And it's not even 7 o'clock.
Rogath, what would you like to do with your life?
And we're done.
Actually, that's what I'm looking for is tapestries. Just to see, you know, being that I had that weird imaging thing going on. So,
There actually are no tapestries in the guardhouse. However, if they're
Look what Krabby Patty said.
That hurt.
Our D&D campaign is not against us anymore, it's us against chat. Like, alright, roll the hit against Crab.
Right.
I'll take on.
That's
That's
why-
one hit! Good job, Crabby.
And the Krabby is dead.
They could give that fireball a still.
Jason Mimosa, that's what I need to deal with this group. Alright, many tapestries in the Hall of Histories in the common areas of the palace. There is a museum of history of sorts attached. And if you look at your lovely map,
Hello, Lana. Thank you.
you guys are there. The Hall of Histories. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. It is not attached to the palace. Castle Ehrenhaus is down here. It was actually named after the first king's horse.
Ehrenhaus?
Yeah.
What were the
What?
haunches like on that horse?
Oh, they were amazing. Like,
We should go back to Hoof and Trot and tell that guy.
She's ready.
that horse is long dead.
Oh.
Don't beat that horse. It's dead. The Hall of Histories is right there. That kind of cheese wheel looking. What?
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Yep. Except I landed on my bad knee. I'm good. I'm good.
Please hold.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit for just a second though.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay.
I'm good. I promise. I'm not dead.
I just rewatched it on camera and it doesn't look
How's
bad.
your phone, Joe?
The phone's
She
fine.
felt
Okay.
rather
Okay.
It's
gracefully.
just a phone.
How's the knee?
Oh, it's fine, except for like a week ago I landed on it on this going up the cement steps, so I just kind of
She hit the same spot.
same knee.
And I mean, we're talking about a big knot on there.
Speak for yourself. I'm not sharing if I get him.
Okay, I'm good. Good.
I'm just trying to like
good.
be diplomatic here because that's my job.
You know, you're a wonderful ambassadoress, but I'll take it
You're
two on
doing a
one.
great job. You are really doing a
We
great
have
job.
some upstairs. I feel
That Hall of Histories is I mean, it's huge. It's essentially a museum. There's artifacts. There's an entire wing dedicated to the different histories and lineages of the King of Silas. The library is also in there. We're talking like Science Museum of Minnesota size.
Okay then. Okay. So that's where I'm going to head because things are strange.
Okay, he does let you know that essentially at 9 bells it does close down.
Okay.
They use a system of bells in Silas to tell time. They have candles and torches that burn throughout the daylight hours. And then after the daylight hours, so daylight hours go... Oh gosh, I didn't think about this. Cool. We're just going to use 24-hour clock because we're just kind of...
Circadian cycles.
Yeah. So daylight hours, they will use a set of bells. The evening hours it's a different bell. It's a deeper tone. So at 9 bells, then it
closes.
Mm-hmm.
How many bells are we to it being closed?
You have 2 bells. So you have essentially 2 hours.
Okay.
Oh.
After 10 bells, when it's the deeper toned bell, they start back over at 1. So there's fewer bells during dark hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the tone is less likely to wake people because it's a lower register.
Was this a system that was around before?
You're familiar with it.
Okay.
It's something that's not uncommon to be used.
Okay.
Are you quite alright?
I caught that.
Thank you.
I love you.
If you're gonna be here, you need to speak in a lower register.
That's ridiculous.
Huh? That was your line.
Nope. That's ridiculous.
Thank you.
I can't do that really, really, really low tone that he did.
Okay, so. Right, Krabby? So, yeah, you have plenty of time, Rogath, to make it down that way, and I will get back to you. Eric, what are you going to do?
What time of day is it?
It is roughly 7 in the evening.
That's what I thought. I'm gonna wander the town.
Okay, with what intent?
Learn.
Steal more people's
I don't know. Well, maybe. Maybe. I'm also going to take a look at the bag of coins that I got.
Okay.
And how much did I acquire?
You acquired 2 gold, 4 silver and 6 copper.
Dude was broke.
I know, right?
You took his lunch money.
Pretty much. He took his allowance.
Mommy, that man took my money.
He doesn't care.
Gold, 4 silver, and 6 copper.
Yes.
Dinner with 30 cents. He don't care. How's he gonna pay for dinner now?
Oh, looks like you're gonna have to pick up the check.
Awkward. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you pay for this?
But my
It's
goal
just
here
more
is I want to walk around. And because I am familiar with having the urchin background, I am
Yes.
familiar on moving around in the alleys and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to the people of the town proper. I want to talk to the people on the wrong side of the tracks. I want to talk to the bums, the hobos, and get an idea of the town from them.
Okay, it takes you a bit of time to. Do you ask anyone about where those areas of town might be, or are you just going to wander and see if you can find your way
I'm
there?
trying to get acclimated with the town, so I'm going to wander myself.
Okay, choose a direction: north, south, east, or west.
And where are we coming in, just to make sure I have
Okay.
it right?
So you guys are in that circular building right there.
We came in through town that way?
Yes,
And I'm just
this
gonna-
is Hoof and Trots up this way. You came in the main gates here.
Judging, with a quick glance around town, I am going to, in that area, I'm going to start going a little bit west by southwest.
So, like,
Yeah, right in that general area, going around that, through town that way.
okay. And sure enough,
And like I said, I'm avoiding the main roads because I don't want to talk to the normal people.
yeah, you do see, as you head more to the southwest, you realize that guardhouse was for the guards that typically roam and man the city gates and walls.
Mm-hmm.
As you head down to the southwest, you find what looks like crypts.
Pretty much.
But it's not a graveyard in the sense that you'd be familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like marble mausoleums,
Mm-hmm.
but they are all, and you recognize the symbol of Marasa from Rogoth, but they all have beautiful filigree. There's no, it almost looks joyous. It almost makes you think of Lyra, the goddess of joy.
As I'm walking through there, of course, my first instinct, I'm going to keep my eyes open and ears open for anything that might be hinky. Seeing as I spent most of my time hunting the undead.
Yeah, and that's what strikes you as a little odd, is there seems to be nothing hinky. It feels peaceful, and if you had to guess, the further southwest you go, it almost feels as if the ground itself is consecrated. And ahead, you see a large black and white marble building that has symbols of Marasa on the columns going into it. And it does very much appear to be a temple.
Are there people milling about?
There are people milling about in all different states of... no, they're...
There.
different states of quality of dress. So you see some that are in more ragged clothes, you see some in fine silks. And especially in the temple grounds proper, you realize everyone is treating everyone exactly the same. I mean, you notice that some of the more tattered clothes people will move out of the way. Once they get to the temple grounds proper, it's like it strikes you as odd.
I will meander that direction. Just see what's going on.
Okay. As you enter the temple grounds, everyone there's a sense of acceptance. Like when a group of strangers is all about to go about the same task, and they know what that task is, and they know they're about it, that group dynamic is set. No one is an outsider here, kind of feel. Like they hand you the jumpsuit and the Kool-Aid and you fit right in.
And what is this task they seem to be setting about?
Everyone who is in the ground seems to be either heading into the building proper, and anyone coming out of the building, if there's anything awry, like a twig falls off a bush or something, someone picks it up. Everyone just kind of has this respect for the area.
Okay. Interesting to note. I'm still going to look for the ghetto.
Okay. So then are you gonna leave the temple grounds?
I just mill about a bit, see what's going on, spend maybe a half an hour there.
As you, in the temple itself, sorry, I'm just trying to understand.
I'll poke my head in, but I don't intend on, unless otherwise approached, I'm being a tourist at the moment.
Okay.
Look at the paintings.
The inside of the temple proper has different layers, if you will. Think like
ogres and onions.
We're gonna come back to you in a moment. Abathor, what are you planning on doing?
Not getting hurt. So a couple things. I will, before you head off to dinner, Lady Parisa, I will approach you and tell you to be safe and remind you that no means no, and that you have a can of pepper spray in your purse if you need it, and to be home by no later than the 11th bell. I will wish you a good night and hope that you have fun, and let you know that I will be out in search of see if I can find like a shrine or a temple for Hylor here in the city while you are having your fun.
Okay, and there should be room for you at the ambassador's.
Oh, cool. Place. Okay, thank you. So. And then I'll go to Zechariah and I'll give him a death stare. And I'll just be like, you better make sure that she's home by the 11th bell, and she has a can of mace in her purse, and no means no. Hylor sees all. And then I will...
last sentence is the only one that worked.
And then I will turn and walk and start basically doing the same thing. I'm going to peruse the city because I've never been here before. I've never seen something so big. And I will see if I can find my way to a temple or shrine of some sort to Hylor.
Okay, do you ask for directions at all?
What I would say is, yes, I think I would stop in and check in with... First of all, what's the condition of the city like? Is it pretty nice? Is it in good repair?
It's in good repair. It's a mid-size... Oh, I'm trying to think of a comparable city.
I mean, I won't matter because I wouldn't know. It's a big city. Okay, are there a lot of poor people around?
Not in this area, and even the poorer people you see, they don't seem destitute by any means.
Okay, are no street beggars or anything like that? If there are, those
not that you're seeing.
Okay, then I will just check in with people at shops and stuff along the way. Like,
okay.
I'm assuming there's street merchants.
There are quite a few. One shop really catches your eye. That's right on the main drag, and it is a antiquities shop that appears to be run by a family of halflings.
Those people seem lovely. I will go in there.
Okay.
What's the name of the store?
Please hold.
Holding.
Nope, hold on.
Yeah, holding. I'm holding. Say you gotta hold on.
I have my gag gift now.
Gag or gag?
I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell. You and I had the exact same mind.
Oh my gosh. What?
I'm trying to get in your head.
You're so awful right now. Like, I don't even know what to tell you because I wrote it down and then I saved it and screenshotted all my notes.
Okay, so the name of it's just the shop. Cool, I like this shop. I'll go into this shop.
No. Hold on.
Plus 4.
See what I do?
If you remember before me, I will give you 5 advantage rolls.
No, I didn't come up with the name. You did.
Well, I know, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't remember it.
I don't know if you ever told me.
What kind of shop is it?
It's a cool little antiquity shop. There seems to be some books and stuff in here too.
Oh, gone and back again.
Hoof and trot.
Welcome to my antique shop. Gone and back again. What would you like to buy?
There are actually halflings here in this shop. They're not creepy, weird, wizardy dudes.
Oh, I wasn't being creepy and weird. I was being...
Hildorow's Antiquities.
That's where it is. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Oh, this shop looks cool. Come in here and check this out.
Take care, Pokemon. Enjoy your
Welcome,
company,
Pokemon.
and good luck with the cards. If it's poker,
Oh, and Krabby Patty likes books, so I'll have to grab a book for Krabby
if
Patty.
it's
Okay.
poker,
Yeah,
you're more
there's-
What
lucky.
kind of book do you want, Krabby Patty?
There's a number of. There's actually a bookshelf in the corner. As you walk in,
Just a shelf.
you see a couple people milling about. You see a fairly attractive human woman
Stud or hold 'em?
looking over books and dropping them, and then you see a young halfling man run over and begin to help her with the books.
This is so sweet.
You're
But
welcome.
they're already
You're welcome.
they're already taken care of, so I will go in this direction instead. How's that? I'll go up to the counter.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm just looking to.
Oh, hello. Can I help you find something?
You're right, that's awful.
Hi.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Akathor. I am new here. I'm simply just looking around town, getting familiar with the place, and wondering, is there a temple for Hylor or a shrine or anything like that around here?
Ah, yes, of course. You must be. Are you a monk?
Yes, sir. This time I actually don't know. Are you the man or the woman?
I don't know.
Sir, we're gonna say you're the sir. Yes, sir. I am. We just got into
I
town.
just started going and didn't think.
It's ma'am. Okay.
Why you think I would die? This is my natural born beautiful voice. I can sing like an angel.
I was really sidetracked in the middle of that because of everything going on in the shop right now. Whew. All right. It is, in fact, a gentleman.
I'm sure I missed what you want.
Yes, I.
Yep.
You are, yes. Oh, you are indeed, yes, sir.
And he jumps down off what you presume to be a step stool and comes around the corner, grabs your hand. Let me shake your hand. We don't get many monks around here. And have you come down from the Shrine of Hylor?
I have, yes.
Oh, what a long, dangerous journey. Well, here, if you come right over here, we do have maps of the city. I have maps that can show you all the locations of the city, all the things that you want to see, where even the nobility go to spend their evenings. I recommend the Blue Ducky Tavern. Absolutely wonderful place. There was once a sailor named Ducky. They found him blue. Thus, the Blue Ducky Tavern was made in his honor.
No. I would take that map. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm sorry. What's your name?
I don't know if I'm a guy, I don't know if I'm a girl, I don't even know my name. I just know I want to sell you this.
No, I'm just doing this to pick on her.
What's the name of the house?
I didn't give them names. I can make one up.
Okay, cool.
I'm so excited. Leonard.
Oh, Leonard, I don't know if I'm in love with your name. We should rename you while I'm here.
I'm Penny.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, Leonard, yes.
Please
thank you.
just go with Leonard.
Kind sir. Yes, of course.
Bernadette's the other
Yes, I was going to say, is your wife Bernadette? No. I would
No.
love a map.
No, but I did tell some drunk guy last night my name was Penny because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
Better than nickel.
After he was
Yeah, we'll skip that.
Okay. I would love a map, and then one of my friends also wants a book, but I missed what he wants. But we'll get that book too. Did anyone catch what he
Book of Fireball.
No, it
Book
is.
of
They're not
Fireball.
gnolls. They
Fireball books.
are halflings. They are
I
accepted.
didn't call you a gnome.
No, chat did.
Oh, how dare you!
Well, of course. Here, take the map just as a gesture of goodwill and say a prayer to Hylor for me. And he begins to immediately point out the temples on the map. The temple to Marasa is in the northwest corner. The temple of Corindor is down here. Lyricils is here. The Shrine of Hylor is almost in the center of the city, just north of what he points out is like a training ground.
Okay.
Wait, my wife is short. No.
And then, huh?
Nothing. I'm defending you, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Love
you too, baby.
Exactly.
And begins, just kind of.
to be fair, I think
Well, Leonard,
we're
thank you
always
very much. I
advocating
appreciate your
no
help.
genocide.
And then on my way out, I will drop 2. How much is a map worth? 2 gold pieces? Gold piece?
I mean,
Just
it's
remember,
probably
Vishnu
not
said
worth more
war.
than silver.
Gold piece on
Vishnu
the.
said genocide.
I know, right?
thanks you graciously, and as you turn to leave, you see this human woman that had dropped the book stand up excitedly, and she's just, I figured it out! And turns to go out the door, and the halfling guy is running out after her, and they seem very excited about where they are going.
Those two kids seem really nice.
Did you say that out loud?
No, I said that to you.
Yeah. During the headlight moments, counter. Ding! Ding! Yes, that is my son Finnegan. He just received his missive to attend Capitol Hall, and I'm not quite sure what's got him all in a tussle.
It was probably that young woman, if I had to guess.
Was that the character you were going to play originally? Okay, that's what I thought.
Anyways,
if something
Leonard,
were to happen to him.
I will smash this table in half. Anyways, Leonard.
Oh, you will, huh?
Back to the game. I know I'm wondering the same thing, DMK.
Anyways, Leonard, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. If you ever need anything, you just call on a Hillborough. We're good for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like their slogan needs some
Work.
fine tuning.
A little bit of tweaking.
Call a Hillborough. We're good for it.
The Hillboroughs always pay their debts.
Okay. Anyways, so then I'm off to
Dr. Leach sends his regards.
See you later.
a Loxlies.
Alright,
Are we back to you? Is he off timeout now?
oh, was it that obvious? Yeah, we can go back to you, Eric.
I've been pickpocketing all
He comes back with backpacks full of stuff.
Have you really?
No.
Just checking. You never know with you.
I have some scruples.
Right.
It's
So, when you go into the temple itself, it does appear to have layers similar to, think Israelites in the Old Testament. Like, there was the outside court where everyone was, and then as you move further in, it seemed like maybe it was just reserved for the priests and priestesses and acolytes. That's gonna not make as much sense to you. Okay. It appears that there's a public area and a private area.
Oh.
And there are statues and frescoes and busts of Marasa, and there's different niches where you can just kind of go and, give a private prayer. There's a couple different altar areas, and there are acolytes in robes of Marasa wandering, but they seem very approachable.
Totally would not even hear your command.
I am ninja.
But at the same time, they are not intrusive either.
I'll do my once around and just get a feel for the place and wander off.
Okay. It seems like many people that are in here are either grieving or have something heavy on their mind. But as they leave, they look much more lighthearted. And then when you leave the temple, which direction are you headed? Still to the southwest?
Yeah, until I hit the next main road.
Okay. As you leave the temple and go to the southwest, you do hit a poorer area of town where it's almost more alleys and back streets, kind of everything's really tight together.
Mm-hmm.
There's no yards, it's not quite the ghetto, but you think it's as close to the ghetto as you're going to get in this city. Or close to it, anyway.
At least this side of town.
Yeah. And you do get a few sideways looks. Like, they know you're not from
Are there
this area.
actually people living in the alleyways?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Good.
Or at least hanging out there.
You found Tent City.
That look like they are very homey where they are at.
Then I will approach them and I would like to
Hey, leave elves out of it. Thorn and Aramil are elves. You gotta be nice.
I will. Except for the high elves. We always know they're the evil ones.
True. They're wood elves. I can agree with that.
Are there any of them clustered together in a small group?
Yeah, there are, but they appear to be in their teens, like 15 to 17-ish.
Okay. Just gonna approach.
They immediately stop talking about whatever they were talking about and just kind of side-eye you.
So it seems that this is a place for hanging out. I need a place to hang out for a while.
How old
Mind
are
if
you?
I join you? 23.
Aren't you a little old to be around here?
Streets is where I grew up.
Not our streets.
Yup. So I'm trying to figure these ones out.
Why aren't you over at the academy?
Because that's not where I belong.
Who are you?
Eric.
Eric. And he kind of looks over and some of the others just kind of shrug. It's these old 4 boys and 1 young lady. You can hang here, I guess.
Just trying to get my way around the town. I'm not so big on the idea of the suits of arms and whatnot. I actually prefer to be out in the woods more often than not, but I have a little business here in town.
What kind of business? That was the girl, just FYI.
Apparently I did a good deed for the king, so he wants to thank me for the service. All I did was kill some rats, that's it.
Oh, you mean the rats that everyone is looking for that turn into the little black puddles?
Yeah, them.
Yeah, we found one of them.
Where?
It was actually over by the back door to the Temple of Marasa. All the other rats have been normal.
Over by the back door of the temple?
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Maybe.
I'm not looking to do anything more than figure out more about these rats. They're not natural.
No, I can be forgetful.
I'm sure you can. And I can be very light of pocket until I get what I need.
What's your passive perception?
15. And I'm not going into this blindly because I know better.
Well, I don't know. You had a very good argument about how passives were sufficient.
That's why I'm making the statement I am here. I'm walking into a position where there are vagabonds in an alleyway. I would not be absent-minded of my purse.
Ah. Well, your purse is still... Just for the record, where is your purse located?
I would have it hanging normal.
Okay. Your
Unlike
purse
you,
is...
I don't have boobs.
Oh my god, when did those get there? Your purse seems to be just fine. Alright, I can show you.
Okay.
And she takes the lead. I'm Talisa.
Good to meet you.
And
what? As we're walking, I just want to keep up the small talk.
It seems like the guys kind of defer to her.
What's with you guys hanging out in the alley? Is that just a hangout spot, or do you guys prefer to be on the streets?
Well, after dark, people aren't really allowed on the streets. If you get caught, that's not good. There's places we can go to sleep, but...
You guys all by yourselves then?
What's it to you?
That's how I spent most of my life.
Yeah.
Well, can I give you a little bit of advice? Don't steal from rangers. They're pretty smart folk. I got caught by them.
You didn't catch me. And she smiles slyly at you, and you're not quite sure if she's telling you the truth or not. And she leads you back towards the Temple of Marasa and points out that On the west side of the temple, where it's one of the smaller service doors that goes out to an area that has I just lost the word. The marble dead people boxes.
Mausoleums?
Thank you!
That was a perfect description, though, with no name for it. That was great.
I lost the word.
Marble dead people boxes and Paris Jenga.
I love that.
It is going to be one of those nights, I'm telling you guys. It was sitting right here. There was two of the priestesses were talking, and well, they weren't talking, they were arguing. They were talking. Priestesses of Marasa don't argue. They were arguing. They were not.
Either which way, there
Yeah.
were two priestesses that were having a conversation, heated or otherwise.
Yeah. About Marasa's twins. And this rat was sitting there listening, but it looked kind of mangy. And I was coming in, and I didn't see it, and it startled me, and I went, ah! And it went like that. Right there. And she points to a spot right in between two, like the arch to the doorway has an indent. So it does kind of one of these numbers. And you realize, like, from the inside, it wouldn't have been able to be seen.
I would like to investigate the area to see if there's any more, if there's any indication of comings and goings of rodents of unusual size.
R-O-U-S? I don't think they exist. Go ahead and roll me survival. No, wait. Roll me tracking. Or survival, whichever's higher. You all right over there, Parisa?
13.
13? This place does look very well kept up. However, you do notice in the grass just outside, like the walkway to the door comes out, and then there's grassy areas that surrounds the mausoleums. You do see some scratchings in the dirt.
I'm going to keep hunting around to see if I can find tracks of rats and movement and things like that.
As you go to the corner of the building and do one of these numbers, you know how when you're in the woods there's those deer trails? If you stand just right, you kind of move your head back and forth, you can see an area in the grass, even as well kept as it is, that appears that something about rodent size had a habit trail.
I'm going to follow the habit trail.
You follow the habit trail.
What are the kids doing?
They're watching you, like absolutely fascinated.
This is cool.
Pretty much, like, why'd you steal from the Rangers?
I lived on the streets much like you. I needed money and food, so I wanted their money.
Oh, why didn't you just go to one of the temples for dinner?
I was in a bad place in my life at the time.
Billy was stuck up too, then he finally bit his pride and went to the temple.
I wasn't stuck up.
Oh.
I was in a bad place in my head.
I just can't get you out of my head. Oh, your love is on.
You're getting an evil look.
Oh, hi.
In my head.
Wait, what about Corgi? I need my zappy Corgi. Sorry, I saw the word Corgi and just like, squirrel. Yeah? Oh, okay. As you look at this habit trail, it appears to go from the back door and follow the edge of the temple grounds to one of the alleyways and then out to the wall proper and down to a side gate. But there's enough of one that as you get to the gate, roll me in tracking.
12.
12. It's hard to follow, but from the best you can tell, once you get to the gate, it seems like you do find some rat tracks, but it seems like they've gone in different directions. But once they hit the city gate, they all seem to follow that path to the back door of Marasa's temple and back out.
Now, as I've been tracking this, does it does there appear to be a more common direction, as in toward the gate or toward the town?
You can't tell.
And this gate, are there any guards or anything of that ilk?
There's a couple guards, and they're on watch, but they seem fairly relaxed. This gate seems like it is largely...
I would like to look around on the gate to see if there is a hole or something that the rats could get in and out of with somewhat ease.
There is a portcullis that looks like it's dropped, but as far as the main gates themselves, it doesn't appear that they are closed often.
Hey, Dr. Dillon, how's it going? He's one of the guys that played with us at DeLucon.
Oh, hey! Yay! Pelicon peeps. I'm all excited now. Okay, I'm good. Maybe. But I mean,
It's an open portcullis that they haven't closed the doors on.
Right, like the portcullis itself drops. You can see the indents in the road where it's dropped, but they have big, thick, like siege doors, and it looks like they haven't been moved in quite some time.
Okay. So I would like to step outside. It's going pretty well, Dylan. Thank you. I want to step outside the gates.
Okay.
And check around there for any tracks.
Make me one more tracking. At advantage, because you have an idea of now really what you're looking for.
I rolled a 19 and a 20 on the die. Tracking would be 22.
Nice.
No, 23.
As you look, you realize these rat prints that seem to be following this trail are a little different than normal rodent. Almost like it's almost imperceptible at first until you look, but it looks like the toes are a little bit thicker and a little bit longer than normal rat feet.
And I want to follow them I want to follow them until well, it depends on where they go. If they go outside of town, I want to follow them for probably about 15 minutes. If they follow the wall of the town, I want to follow them until they break off.
Gotcha. It follows the wall of Silas until it gets to about here, and then they branch off to the northwest.
And what do I see in that direction?
To the northwest, you see a lot of more what you saw when you came in, the cultivated fields, and there are some shacks where it looks like farming tools are kept, that sort of thing.
So it's a bunch of farmland.
But yeah, but when they break off from the wall, how far are you
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
You get about 10 minutes out, and the tracks disappear. Like almost mid-stride, there's just no more.
And where am I?
In between a row of fields.
What kind of fields?
Barley and wheat.
And where are the nearest houses?
The nearest houses are back within the city walls, but there's a couple shacks, and there's a few people milling about, looking like they're cleaning up for the evening.
Anybody within casual shouting distance?
Yeah. Two older men.
I'm gonna holler at them. Gentlemen, can you come here a minute?
Sure, son. What's up? And I mean, they're very much farmer.
Have you guys seen anything strange in your fields over the past fortnight? Something that doesn't quite belong? I mean, I'm sure you see the occasional crow, rabbit, deer, something like that coming from the woods, but have you seen anything that doesn't quite fit? For example, maybe some larger rodents or something?
Yeah, we've had a few more rats than usual this season, especially about the past month. Big suckers too, but not many since the city decreed to kill them. We never did find out why. But Sven said he saw one that had wings.
A rat with wings?
He was drunk.
I want to hear this. I love drunk tales. I'm planning on running a bar one day. Maybe this will give me some...
You want to practice your drunk tales?
and getting an idea of what tales I might hear.
You may want to speak to him yourself. He hangs out at the Blue Ducky down by the fort.
Anything else you can tell me? Strange things happening in the fields? Strange people you may have seen?
Well, that one... Now, mind you, we'd all been drinking that night. But Sven said there was a rat with wings. And so we went out to look for it to convince him he was a little crazy.
That is snipe hunting.
He is. Yeah. So, and we had some gold on it naturally, and there was a trick of the mind, because you see we've got scarecrows out here, and you do see the occasional one. There was a woman. Beautiful woman. Dark hair, almost blue in the moonlight, standing out in the field. And we went to look and ask her if she was all right, because that's not, and her dress, she looked like royalty, but there was just a scarecrow. And we all agreed we drank too much, and
where was this?
Right over in that field, right there. And he points to the field to the left, the wheat field that's to the left, right where that scarecrow is, right there. This was about a fortnight ago.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, you're welcome. You ain't looking for work, are you?
I think I've got myself plenty busy right now.
All right, sounds good. Well, you have yourself a good night, friend.
I'm gonna wander over towards the scarecrow now.
All right. Are you kind of minding the rows of wheats, or are you just
as
kind
best
of?
I can.
Okay.
But I'm also going to keep very close attention to the ground for anything that doesn't look like farmer work.
Okay. Nothing really stands out until you get to the scarecrow, and you see a number of rodent tracks around the scarecrow. It's hard to kind of track them out of the field, just because there's so much stuff going on. There's crows, there's, but there do appear to be a few of those odd-shaped rodent tracks, and some, holes, like you see squirrels or chipmunks digging by the base of the scarecrow, but nothing else.
I'm going to probably get in trouble for this. I'm going to look around inside the scarecrow.
Roll me investigation. I'm going to do a real quick follow-up with you guys, and then we will end up going to break just a smidge early. And then I'm going to pick up with the three of you in advance. Sorry I spent so much time on this, but he kind of went in a direction that I think will bode useful for you all.
I think he's actually onto something. How dare you follow a story? No, I'm
the odds of you guys actually following this was kind of slim, so I'm kind of excited.
That would be a 15.
You find
a pocket watch, a coin purse.
Not again.
You find a small, what you would think of as a holy symbol, about the size of a quarter. It is silver, and it has the symbol of Marasa on it. However, it looks different. I mean, you've seen the symbol of Marasa on his hand. You saw the symbol everywhere at the temple. This one, instead of I can actually pull up the symbol for you.
Yeah.
How dare you follow the story?
Right?
I hate it. I'm being a good player.
I'm so proud of you, and I appreciate it so very
Simply
much.
taboo.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job at derailing me into Lucon, so you
I was
got
gonna-
no room to
I was gonna
talk.
say, I think maybe they're just used to us just getting so derailed. It's like, why do they even have stories? No, just let them sit at the table.
The symbol of Marasa is what looked like a beautiful pair of gates on the background of it, that shield, but ignore the symbol in the middle. But it's those colors. It's kind of burgundy and a odd shade of green in the middle, and there's a set of open gates on it. Well, in this one, it's that same symbol.
Thank you, Grimpatch, for the follow.
Thank you.
Thank you! Okay, welcome, Grimpatch.
With the opened gates, however, there are two keys, crossed keys in the center of the open gates.
Okay.
And that's, you've never seen that on any of the other symbols.
Okay. I'm going to abscond with said medallion.
Okay.
And
What's the Scarecrow's passive?
right. And I'm going
Didn't know you
to
for that.
just very cursory. I'm going to take my dagger out and kind of dig around the base of the scarecrow a bit, maybe 6 inches.
Okay. You don't find anything, but it does look like something was buried there and then maybe removed.
No indication of what it might be.
You feel like it was maybe the size and shape of what you were holding.
I will make my way back into town and look for the Rubber Ducky Inn.
The Blue Ducky?
Yeah, the Blue Ducky Inn.
Alright. So as we do that, I'm just going to do a quick follow through. Akathor, once you are on your way to the Shrine of Hylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Parisa, you are having dinner with Zachariah. Are there any specific questions you want to ask him during dinner? I will give you a moment to think.
Thank you.
Rogoth, where
Do you like
you are on your way to the Hall of Histories.
Yes, but I also have my hand
Do you
covered.
like bean and chocolates?
Perfect. That's actually good to know. Perfect. So when we come back, you will have some fun in the Hall of Histories. Parisa will have a dinner date. Akathor will have some time at the Shrine of Hylor, and who knows what Eric will do.
By the way, what did the kids do this entire time? Because I did not tell them not to follow me or do anything.
They did not leave the city gates.
Okay.
As you neared the city gates, they kind of just meandered back a little bit.
Then I would have asked real.
I'm sorry. Go
I would
ahead.
have asked real gently. Are you going back to where I found you? I'll meet you there.
Okay. And they,
Because I owe you something.
Recruiting an army.
their ears perk up. Every single campaign, we adopt street children. Alright, I think we are going to actually head to break just a smidge early. We will be back in roughly a half an hour, and when we come back, we will have our dice giveaway. So roughly a half hour, come back. You still have a chance, correct, Thaco? If they do it right now?
All the way up until we come back. So
All
we got
right.
a half an hour.
So-
Facebook or Twitter.
Yep, Facebook or Twitter, look it up. Go ahead and let people know if you've got friends that play D&D and are looking for some dice. They still have a chance to enter. We will not close it until we come back.
Not sure yet.
I have no idea, but I got the munchies.
Alright.
All right, we will see you guys shortly.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
See you later. Bye.
Right.
Oh, last minute high quiz on ABT.
Yeah, right. If you got-
Yeah, it was a.
All right,
It was a bad day
welcome
for
back
him.
to Dragons in the Dining Room. DMLoxy presiding. Without further ado, this is Nerevis, and we are going to do our dice giveaway. So I'm just going to make sure everyone is kind of back in chat here.
If you're back in chat, say peanuts.
Or here, or...
No, peanuts.
No, peanuts. I like it. Peanuts
Why
it is.
peanuts?
Because that's what he came up with.
No, someone's allergic. You can't just assume.
But
Say-
they won't be allergic to the word.
Flying pheasant.
Flying pheasant? Pheasant. Peanuts? Peanuts.
And Krabby said peanuts backwards.
That was brilliant! I
Alright.
approve, Krabby.
Super quick roll call. I'm going to give people just a second. And then we are going to announce the winner of the dice giveaway. Going back.
For
You know what that is?
2019.
Seagazilla. Okay.
Wheezy's
Big
back.
Weezy, welcome
Weezy's
back,
back.
Weezy.
Okay. And the winner is, can I get a drum roll, please? Krabby Patty. Congratulations, Krabby. You have won our final dice giveaway. And we will be sending you, it's these ones, right? Okay. This lovely set of dice. So if you want to shoot us what, Daco?
Yeah.
Come on, Daco, help me out
Don't
here.
shoot him.
Yeah, don't shoot me. Just.
I have life insurance on him now, so you kind of can. Or if you didn't.
Thank you,
Preferably
Gabby. That was
don't.
beautiful.
Finally won something besides terrible men. I hope this can bring you great enjoyment while you look for another less terrible men.
Now you can use these dice to roll,
Initiative.
persuasion on good men.
Very
No,
good.
insight.
Seduction.
Insight to make sure that
Insight.
they're a good man.
Right.
That's my problem.
Yeah, so
You need new
Need to
dice.
run
I
inside.
need new dice.
Well, you should have entered our
I
round
have
then.
not been wrong about any guy you've asked me about.
What about Big Wheezy?
She hasn't asked me about him.
Wow, did you hear that,
Right
Big
now.
Wheezy? Dang, dude, I got your back, homie. My poor
No,
man, Big Wheezy's just like, hey, Vistra, and you're like,
No, our DuluCon tickets went to Stoneforge Misfit and why can't I think of her screen name?
Guafa.
Guafa.
Guffaw.
Guafa. I feel like it needs to be said like that.
So,
Oh,
Krabby, I will get a hold of you a little bit later about sending those out to you.
perfect.
What?
I got Big Wheezy's back, and you're breaking his heart.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, you know what's funny though?
Don't
Is-
go break
If I
my
remember
heart.
right, the first time Big Weezy was ever in chat and mentioned Frostbeard, I was making comments about, hey, I'm a dwarf, notice me, and now it's the opposite.
Wait, is this like when you're in kindergarten and you flirt by punching the other person? Okay.
Possibly?
I guess, but with Vistra, I
You're
guess.
cute, not 20.
To be fair, I think that's why you make sure your significant other's in Taekwondo, so you can go like, I love you, babe.
Alright, so,
Thanks for having
Yeah.
me too.
Krabby, your parents are crazy.
Alrighty.
Or if you live
Awesome.
in Minnesota, all you have to do is shout mosquito.
What? Oh gosh, right?
Mosquito.
28 and
Hey Thaco, hold still, I see a mosquito.
Oh boy.
tiny.
Knock it out with your teeth.
Aww. Hang in there. Wheezy, for what it's worth,
Yeah, I'm going to be talking to them next week.
you seem like a sweetheart.
Hi, Fiddle Pillow.
No, that's what I showed you.
Hey, Fiddle.
We can do that at a different time.
Okay.
We can actually do that.
Yes, Krabby won the dice giveaway.
Yay, Krabby.
There was actually quite a few names in there, so this was kind of fun. Our
We
giveaways
had-
are getting a little bit bigger.
We had 16 people join us for that giveaway, so that was a really good turnout.
I mean, I remember our first DeluCon
It was 3.
giveaway was like,
You win! There's no one else to win!
so thank you all for being here and entering in.
Yes.
Alright,
Yeah, well,
so
that makes
when
me very happy.
we last left off, Eric, give me like a 20-second rundown of what just happened to you before break.
I decided to go running around following rat tracks while I had some street urchins talking to me. Ended up leaving them behind in the city, telling them I'll come back and talk to them. Went out to the farmers' fields, continuing to follow rat tracks that disappeared into thin air. So I talked to some farmers who told me that some drunks thought they saw flying rats and a woman in a really pretty dress that was actually a scarecrow. So I checked out the scarecrow that had a medallion on it that I decided to steal from the scarecrow, and dug in the ground underneath the scarecrow, where I found out that the medallion that I had in my pocket might actually be the same one that I took off the scarecrow, and now I'm heading back to town.
For advantage and the respect to your wife, what was the female urchin's name?
The female urchin's name, I don't recall it. I did not write it down, but it started with a T.
Bonus points if anyone else remembers.
Tanisa? God, I'm good
See,
enough.
Gazella gets
Wasn't even there.
advantage on a roll of his choice.
Nice.
Speaking of Sea Kazella and Akathor,
No, we
Yeah.
should go to
yeah, the maple kind. Yeah,
Yeah.
the maple
I
kind.
gave it to the cat.
No.
Oh
you
my
are-
God. I remember the video now.
That just happened.
Oh, that video is never going away.
I don't know if it-
It'll live forever.
No.
Yes,
you
Urchiness.
were-
Her name was Urchiness.
Yeah.
I agree with Dr. Leach. It was
Thanks,
Urchiness.
Dr. Leach.
That's actually kind of amazing.
I know, right?
My ear itches every time someone says Dr. Leach. It's not even my character. Blah. You were headed to the Temple of Hylor, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. As you head towards the Temple of Hylor, there is an alleyway that goes behind the Capitol Hall building. And in between... So here's the Capitol Hall building.
Sorry, let me pull up my map.
Here.
Or you do that. Yes, show me. Here, and I'll get out of here.
Okay, so... Capitol Hall's here. Temple of Hylor is here.
Yes.
The shop is up here.
Yes.
You came down this way, and up ahead, you do see Finn and this human woman disappear into the alleyway.
Okay, I'm not gonna follow him. That would be creepy.
That would be creepy.
But I will go to the temple.
All right,
Sorry,
as
is that
you
what you were gonna
approach this, Aaron will forgive me someday. I don't know if he will.
I think he has. I think he's gotten over it.
I don't know. As long as you leave Thorn alone, I think he'll let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, and all I want to do, I just want to check in, meet my fellow monks if there are any here. I don't know, are there monks here or would there be like clerics here? Or?
There are not any monks in residence. There are a couple clerics, like fully vetted clerics in residence. There's quite a few acolytes, and you are instantly recognized as a monk of Hylor. You feel when you enter the temple that the stone appears to be marble, but it is golden in color. And you feel just stepping onto the temple grounds that you have a spring in your step. You know, you had a couple aches and pains from the journey, just sleeping on the ground for weeks, you know, stubbing your toe, all that. And your fight from the rats, you felt better after getting some healing attention and potions from the guardhouse, but this, you feel fully rejuvenated just being on the temple grounds, and you feel very close and connected to Hylor here.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know we healed up, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking for anything in particular. I want to do some praying. I'll check in and introduce myself to the clerics and ask if there's anything that they need assistance with while I'm here.
The head priest comes over to greet you, and oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
That time I didn't do anything.
No, you didn't. I literally just had a moment. The head priest comes and introduces himself as Lancel.
Okay.
And he thanks you for making the journey. He inquires as to the health of your master, how the journey was from the shrine. I'm sorry?
The question was, why are all the priests that they meet start with the name L as their name? And I said, I don't know, ask the DM. And then I said, wait, she knows nothing. That's what you always say.
The dice.
I'm sorry?
The dice.
The dice?
Yes, please.
Oh my god! I thought I was going to hit you in the face.
He has hands.
Did you not see the marker earlier?
He wasn't looking. That was...
I was thinking like maybe the bottom was coming off.
I thought it did a little bit. Is there anything that you require from us, or are you headed straight back to the shrine? What are your plans now that you are in Silas?
Well, I have come here with a very fair lady, Parisa, who's going to be meeting her mother. She is, I believe, the ambassador to the Loxlies.
Ah, the ambassador's daughter. Yes, we heard that she was coming. And you, where is the rest of her escort?
You're looking at it.
I've got an 11 charisma, can you tell?
He's actually a little taken aback. You must be very powerful, Brother Akathor. Normally, there's a minimum of 5-6 escorts that are sent with.
I don't
It's just
know
okay if
about
I
that.
die.
You did what? I don't know about that. I think we were more just going for low-key travel. But we did come across a town, a very nice little village called Hoofentrot. You might be familiar with it.
Yes.
A wonderful name.
They have wonderful horse breeders there.
Yeah, the haunches there were pretty impressive, I must say.
It is known.
We were attacked by some sort of weird rat creatures. Have you heard anything about that? Do you know anything about what's going on there?
Yes. And he kind of looks around and motions for you to come into a side room.
Oh God, I've seen how this goes.
We have received orders to kill all rats on sight. The entire city has been warned. However, there is word from a diviner of sorts within the palace, one of the ladies of Londres, that they believe the rats to be spies. To what end, we do not know. But as of recent, we've had a lot of ogre and orc attacks, and it's almost unheard of. We even heard that Fort Calyx came under fire.
You don't say.
These rats, however, it seems when they are slain, there's no rodent corpse. They just turn into this pile of black ichor.
Yes, we did notice that.
And as I was praying, I had a vision from Hylor that I felt I was supposed to... I don't know. It seems silly.
Oh, come on, you can tell me.
It's so creepy.
So is head priest Lancel trying to be all coy with me?
No, he seems genuinely embarrassed.
They're there. You can tell me. How's that? You're not there.
I had a dream of what I believed to be the kidnapping of Marasa, but all I saw was her symbol being desecrated and the gates being ripped down, and then Hylor and Lyrical weeping, but there was no more to it, and Hylor has not seen fit to bless me with insight into this. Krabby, I will take those dice from you just as quick as I can. Go to your room, young man.
What do you think that dream meant, head priest?
I cannot say. We've had more and more people come for healing as of late, and the Temple of Lyrical seems to be almost overrun, but not for the normal reasons, as if heartbreak and unrest are becoming more and more rampant. Also, almost as if there is some sinister presence in the air.
More and more people are coming for healing physical injuries?
Not so much physical as in nightmares or mental afflictions.
That is interesting. When did this start?
Roughly a month ago. Thacko.
That's your husband.
No. Don't need the reminder, thank you. Because Irish brother, can you tell me what that Sir McKee of Mouse would sound like, please? I'd love to hear it.
I don't have his voice right now.
Do it, now you're on
I
the spot.
dare you to try.
I don't do Irish well. I end up going Scottish the entire time.
It's the same damn thing.
No, it's not.
There are a lot of
I
people
really
across
love the potatoes.
There are a lot of people across the pond who are not happy with you at the moment.
This is true.
Maybe it's a good thing Wolfie isn't in chat.
Oh!
He's not Scottish or Irish.
Alright. Akathor,
Got your back, Wolfie.
upon
Wait, how do you know he's not Scottish or Irish?
because he's from the UK.
I've asked him. He's from Southwest England.
I was gonna say.
You're welcome. I wanted to see the Twitch. Did I get it?
I hate you right now.
Sam, we don't care what happens in Minnesota. This is the United States.
I know.
Thank you.
That was one of my friends in high school out in California. While we were in geography class.
We
It was
don't.
great.
So you have to frequently like misrepresent geography facts just to watch her go.
Have a
It's
little
great.
mini stroke.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, thank you very much for the information. Is there anything that you need assistance with while I'm here? Did I already ask you that? I can't remember.
I don't believe that there is anything we need assistance with. Of course, while you are here, and he hands you a token. So it's a golden tablet. It's a golden stone tablet with a symbol of Hylar on it. And he lets you know if you show this to any inn or tavern, your fee will be covered by the Temple of Hylar. Or if you decide to avail yourself to the Temple of Lyrical.
Thank you very much.
Just catching up on chat.
You are very welcome. Barista,
Yes.
you
I'm at
are-
a dinner date with Jason Momoa.
It's a J. No, you get Jason Momoa's younger brother that looks Jason
Lazarus
Momoa-ish.
Momoa. He will come back.
Question.
Yes.
Can we say that given that knowing that I'm going to a city of humans,
Yes.
could I have like a pair of leather gloves to help protect my skin from touching metal objects? If that would help.
It would help some. I mean, yeah, if you want to wear leather gloves, that's fine, but it's
Latex is better.
Actually, most of the time they use nitrile now.
I really wanted to look upset, but I can't.
Either of those two are nice though too.
You can have both of them. Hopefully they don't watch the stream.
I actually don't know who are either of those two? Let's discuss.
Arrow and Flash, respectively.
Oh, man.
I'll take Arrow. You guys can have Flash.
I was about
So
Jason Momoa.
That's what he said every time at this point.
I think he's utterly fantastic. I'm gonna milk that for all it's worth.
We're gonna steer away from this.
Or are we gonna steer
He's
into
absolutely divine.
Oh my god.
You were at dinner and you sit down and realize the utensils are in fact made of metal.
Which is why I was asking about the leather gloves, because I understand that they probably wouldn't help, like, holding an object for...
It is a deterrent. It does help.
I mean, it's still touching your food.
And then
your
in the middle of it, it's
lips. I'm just saying.
oh my gosh! And he seems to remember, and sends a squire running, and he comes back with bone utensils.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I apologize, Lady Parisa.
Everything's finger food.
We do not get many Loxlies in the city. Hopefully, you can help us understand maybe some ways that we can make the city a little more friendly to open trade.
Well, I believe that is part of my purpose here.
No, you should
As
break-
I
you should break
understand
up
it
on
as well, have you ever thought of maybe a marriage within the city?
Damn! This is the first date, dude! Let's
Wow!
How many kids do you want?
First date.
I'm gonna roll a d12.
Can I be his best? Can I be your best man?
Really bad! That was insane!
I want to be his best man.
I want to be the bridesmaid.
And she's done.
Okay, we will come back to it in a moment.
No, she's coming back around.
No, she's not.
Nope, she's gone.
Like the bark box last night. Like it's a rabbit hole. Side note, if it's girls' night and you're all tipsy, do not read bark box customer service stuff. You will break the bar. Alright. Rogan!
Yeah.
He's still my beating heart.
Pretty much. Settle down, Jason Momoa. What? You are headed to the Hall of Histories. Once you walk in, you do see a bunch of signs denoting different wings. There is one set to a library. There is one set for the history of Silas. There is a wing showing the lineage of the kings. There's a wing set to the knights and ladies of Londres and their history. There's a...
He gon' die. Zechariah dies from food poisoning.
I'm still waiting for Cavorn to steal Thorn from Aramil and watch that fallout happen. So,
Actually, I think if Zanny ever made it back there, then maybe...
maybe she'd what? Take Aramil from Thorn?
No.
I was like, oh, honey, please.
No, come
Sorry,
on.
what? Oh, hey, because she's drow. Oh, hey. Okay, moving on. Sorry, wrong campaign.
And inter-campaign dating.
There's literally a wing for, and there is, oddly enough, a Weaver's Hall where they have set to put history into blankets and tapestries and pieces of mendicant cloaks.
That'll be my second stop.
Oh God.
My first stop.
No, everyone else just let him know.
My first stop is actually to look at the names of the ladies of Londres.
I have those right here too. I came prepared. I don't know it.
DM roll a wisdom save.
No, I think that's a charisma save. The ladies of Londres. How far back are you going? There's the current ones are listed, and then there's you are informed. When you walk in, you see like dedication plaques, and they are all current. And then there is a roster of past and trainees.
How big is the list?
Current has 1, 2, 3, 4 names on it.
Four names on it?
You'll have to learn from Moo. Cavorn's one of my favorite characters because he jumped off a cliff.
Zanny doesn't understand romance either. Oh God.
The book that has the records has quite a few names.
I'm only going to spend a few minutes just paging through, seeing if I recognize any names off the top of my head.
Okay,
We do too.
you're going through this book and you know for certain that you should see one name that you definitely recognize.
Sean Connery.
You don't see... Actually, I have to sticky note this to you.
Oh.
Because there's no way the party won't accidentally know this.
I'm not. I can't do that. La, 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 la.
I don't have a pencil.
There's one on the table, yeah?
Ha!
Eh.
Nor are any aliases.
Oh my goodness.
And
Dear Lord.
that
Now,
really
hands up to your
strikes you
reflexes.
as
I was seeing if you were doing
odd. Because oh gosh, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Um,
You're gonna kill us at some point.
You see the names of others that you recognize certain time periods, but there is definitely a name missing that you feel should be there, and there's nothing. There's no blank space, nothing erased. It's just not there.
There. Okay.
The current names of the laundress pairs are Domar and Isa, Alexarin and Yavai. Oh, do you want me to slow down?
Yep.
Sorry. Domar is Domaar, and his lady is Isa, Aizza, and her form is the bear. You can hear this. Uncover your ears, Akathor. The second pair is Alexarin, Elexorin, and Yavai, Yevai, and her preferred form is a falcon. Team 3 is Jasknit and Tamira, Jasknit,
Whoa. That was
and Tamira's Temira. And her preferred form is a lioness. Meow. Haha, that was cute, Krabby. The
So
last
she's got one of the peanuts as her form?
one of the what?
Peanuts. Her form is Linus.
Lioness.
lioness. You put the emphasis on the right syllable, and then you don't have those ICUs.
You could just not be an ass for a minute.
I gotta make up for my lack.
I really can't.
Nobody has a cute butt. That's the. Sorry.
Does he? Prove it.
He does, actually.
Show it on screen.
No!
It's after dark.
The last team is Rahl and Kaylee. Rahl and Kaleigh. And her preferred form is a shark.
Baby shark.
Yeah, I knew that was
Bring
coming.
Disadvantage on you.
Hi, Lord, or Akathor, you're struck by lightning. 45 points of lightning. Are you gonna throw up?
I'll see you Tuesday.
Dead people shocked you.
And you're a little startled as you look back through the register. You realize that typically there's been 6, 8, even 9 teams of laundress, and there are only 4. It seems recently it's been consistently less, and it seems like, oh no, you wouldn't know that, I'm sorry. Yeah, it seems to be less.
Okay.
You're not sure why. DM wants to give lore really, really bad.
No.
Can't. I worked for like 6 months on this world and the lore and the pantheon, and I want to share my child with you. Just kidding. It's an egg.
What?
For anyone, never
Okay.
mind. There's a
I'm
town called
sorry,
405. You must go to it.
So being that I don't see the names that I'm hoping to spot in this, I'm going to take a look at the tapestries.
Okay. Make sure you project a little bit. I
Yes,
can hear you, but I'm just still.
sorry.
From the diaphragm.
I'm sitting on my diaphragm.
Sorry. He's built backwards.
You head
built
into the
North
hall of
Tough.
tapestries, and you have to stop for a moment as your breath is literally taken away just at the sheer beauty. Some of these tapestries are over 40 feet tall and 60 feet wide. You're sure they must weigh hundreds of pounds, and one of the biggest ones that you see is what you've always understood as the story of creation, from Hylor courting Lyrikill, the birth of Marasa's kidnapping, the intervention of Ysandrael, her rescue from Corindor, the entire... Actually, I'm going to pull it up because that might actually happen tonight. And there's pieces of it that you're not quite sure you understand. from the tapestry itself. But there is a plaque underneath that describes the scene in the tapestry.
The god that kidnapped her.
Pet peeve of yours?
What does she look like?
No, Gibbs was just saying to project.
Oh,
It
quit
helps
shitting on
Sorry.
quit
It
shitting
helps
on
the
your
microphone
diaphragm.
because as soon as you have your mouth, your
The-
of your mouth.
The god that kidnapped
I think that was a
Marasa,
cue.
Yeah.
and you're looking for his name, right?
Either his name or how he's depicted.
You don't see a name anywhere. As far as his depiction goes, please hold. I actually have this written down because this is really freaking important. I'm so proud of my little lore buddies.
When you go to sing, all you can smell is alcohol.
He is depicted by, how do I want to word this?
With words.
Usually,
Preferably adjectives.
Whichever the pen.
He is depicted by a set of manacles, but the manacles are crossed. So like the manacle pieces themselves, the clasps, are on either side and the chain is between. So it looks like an X but with a loop at the bottom for the chain. And as far as his name,
Nothing.
it's the part of it's there's many negative adjectives referring to him, but his name is nowhere to be found, and you believe it's just to be out of respect, just like certain names in history books are excluded or blotted out.
He who must not be named.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
there's no fame factor.
Okay.
But you do see that the reason Marasa was taken, was that there were men that thought to live forever by overthrowing Marasa, the goddess of death. So their thought was, if we find a deity who's stronger, and we can get them to slay Marasa, we can live forever. And so it became as this almost secret cult following, and this deity was completely unknown to the world of Nerevis. But somehow something, or someone, heard all these thoughts and whispers, and plagued off it, and pulled it, and manipulated these to the point where he was gaining enough followers to have the power to take Marasa against her will. While in captivity, Marasa had a set of twin daughters. During her rescue, when Corindor went after her, they were torn from her and they fell through the sky as this unnamed deity was cast down into what is now known as what did I call it? The Void of the Gods. Sorry, I could not remember what it was called, and it was important. You know this to be in the northeast of the world, and it's where the salt water turns fresh. So it's a pit that goes down, but as the salt water comes in, it's almost like a bubbling cauldron, and fresh water comes spewing out the other side.
And this is, what was this called?
The Void of the Gods. And it said that it was created when this unnamed deity was hurled down from power by Corindor and Marasa, and that as he fell, he tore the twin daughters and took them with him. Yeah, I'll just read that plaque piece. Marasa was taken captive by a neighboring deity whose name was lost in the annals of history. Outraged by the offense, Corandor went after her, rousing the hearts of brave men. War ensued. Creatures previously unknown began pouring into the land, grotesque ogres, goblins, and kobolds. Creatures of night that masqueraded themselves as emissaries of light, only to lure men to his doom. Corandor was wounded, but when all seemed darkest, Marasa, great with child, finds submission and adoration to her captor, only to raise up and slay him from behind as he battled Corandor in the open skies. In rage, he cried out at the betrayal, wounding Marasa and tearing from her their twin daughters. The unnamed one fell to his death, dragging the twin infant goddesses to fate with him, creating the void of gods where he landed. See, like the plaque goes underneath the tapestry, and each section is worded.
As I'm reading this, I'm going to take my warhammer out and have it head downwards, kneel, as I'm also looking up at her image.
Okay. Some time passes, and you are approached by a woman in blue robes that has kind of a scholarly look about her. I beg your pardon, sir. Can I help you find something?
I'm not sure. It seems my memory of history isn't exactly what I thought it was. I remember a name that seems to be missing out of the book that I read earlier.
As you point to, the Knights of Londres.
Yes.
And what name were you searching for?
Raven Ebenlock.
Ebenlock. No, not. I do know that name though. If you follow me to the library, I believe I know where I know that name from. He's one of the anomalies, and she begins prattling on and turns to walk towards one of the other wings. Not in the Knights of Londres, but he was a Ebenlock. The Ebenlocks were a noble family that always sent their sons to be within the castle guards, and one of his sons went crazy, said he was in love, and disappeared. But that was 200 years ago, roughly. Let me check my notes here. She starts pulling tomes off the shelf and just flicking through them like crazy, kind of like I am now, trying to find my notes at this exact spot. It was back in... it was just before Vidrus's reign ended and Bale first started. Back in the year... Let's see... In 1445.
And what is the current year?
Please hold! Camera's loading!
1544.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're a sexy beast.
So
No.
just under 100 years ago.
You know, I have this calendar app that we can pull up on the computer when you want to try and do that.
Thank you. I mean, I have it written, I just wasn't scanning fast enough. I like having paper. It's a good idea, and I will probably do that as well. I'm really old school. I like paper notes, so when technology flubs up, I'm covered.
when the world falls apart and technology fails, we can still play D&D. Still have all of our papers.
I'll be like, oh,
D&D is going to be one of the few games that survives the ages no matter what happens.
D&D
I
and
mean,
Monopoly
Stream
will
will
be
be
gone,
gone, but we can still play.
We will miss you, Stream, but we will still be playing.
Yep, nothing's going to stop me, not even a nuclear holocaust. Because my D20 will outlive cockroaches.
Probably not.
Probably will.
Shush. Don't
all
ruin
I
my
can
dream.
We should
picture
get metal.
is you in a fallout shelter singing to your D20, and I will always roll you. Just going with it.
I can see it too,
Yep.
actually.
Yep.
Let's practice now.
No.
I am not going to pull a Whitney Houston.
Yes, here, and she pulls up a book that's actually looks like why can I not think of the word? Like the book in Game of Thrones that Ned starts looking through in season 1. You know, blue of hair, black of eye, blah blah blah. Or
Like a genealogy?
The other way around. That or the other way around.
You are now black of eye.
And blue of hair.
I bumped the color right out of your eyes.
Well done, DM. Well done.
animated armors, guys.
So like a genealogy book?
Do you need
Yes,
more
thank
coffee,
you.
dear?
But it's only royalty and a few of the noble houses. And as more recent time progresses, you notice nobility is becoming a bit less pronounced. There isn't quite the divide in social class that there was. I mean, it's still there, very present, but it's not anything near what it was. You notice that the DMLoxy are no longer, their family line died out. It ended. But you do recognize a name there that you did not see in the other book. And it is in fact the name of the missing son who is presumed to have gone mad.
Oh. Well then.
What can I say? You're welcome.
I thank her, and at this point in time, I don't know what to say
Right.
because I'm
Understandable.
Oh my God.
Understandable.
So I'm going to again thank her for her time and her hospitality, and then I'm going to essentially wander out into the city, not knowing where to go or what to do.
Just kind of wander.
Yeah.
Okay. Parisa.
If I might retcon slightly, I would have probably told them, all three of them, that there would be room at the ambassador's place for them.
Perfect. You all know that. I will come back around here shortly. Parisa, you were on your dinner date with Zachariah.
And he just asked me if I'd consider marriage to a human. Or within the city, I should
Within
say.
the city, and, you know, he seems to be hinting, are you here for a marriage? Is there an arranged one in progress?
Not that I'm aware of.
Say yes. I was kidding.
My apologies, Lady Parisa. I don't mean to be forward. It's just that when you came to the city, there are not many Loxlies here, as I've said, and some of us may have speculated on the nature of your journey, and I'm going to put some coin on it.
Oh, well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not
Give me your coin.
entirely sure, my exact mission here, other than to further my ambassador training.
Ah. He looks a little bit disappointed, and you see him absent-mindedly reaching for his coin purse. And then a look of alarm crosses his face. Yeah, that's good. Lead it. I'm proud of me.
Is something wrong?
I must have dropped my coin purse somewhere. When my belt was loose, and that at least he found my keys. The gold can be replaced. Those keys cannot.
That is quite fortunate then, I suppose. Do I shady and pickpocketed him?
You haven't spent enough time with him,
Okay, fair.
but it's something that you remember this, and in the future if something shady happens, correlation ain't causation, but that shit's suspicious.
But we're eating at the
guardhouse.
so it's not like he has to.
They're actually unaware of that.
He took you to the guardhouse for a date? This guy's a freaking loser.
No, dude.
This ain't no tequila berries.
God.
You know where you should have gone is the freaking blue duck or the quacky duck? Quacky duck.
The blue ducky.
Blue ducky. That's where you should have gone. That's where the parties are. Sorry.
And I mean, it's a wonderful meal, and a lot of it is small talk and all back guardhouse. I love you for that.
I love our chat.
I do want to redact some stuff.
Okay, I will let you finish chewing, and then you can tell me all about it.
I'm going to go to the temple.
Black of eye and blue of hair.
As you were saying.
Be mad.
I can't.
So, yeah, going to the Temple of Marasha. Kind of wandering.
Okay.
That way.
Perfect.
You want to accidentally wind up at the Temple of Marasha?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Parisa, yeah, most of it is small talk. He does offer to give you a tour of the cities, and highly recommends that you take time to visit each of the temples and the Hall of History.
I will do that.
And if you need anything, and of course, I would be honored to be your personal escort.
Anything at all.
What time are you off duty?
45 minutes ago.
Were those eyebrow raises in and out of character, or? I think they were in character.
Well, I could use an escort and directions to the ambassador.
It would be my honor. And he's like got his arm out. And he's all, and he goes, "Oh, before I do, please excuse me a moment." And he leaves and comes back a few moments later, and you notice his armor is completely changed. He's not wearing. He's not wearing a chain shirt, and even his plate armor has all been taken off, and he's in essentially padded, what looks like a boiled leather armor.
Okay.
But there is no metal.
Aww.
And
He's trying.
yeah, even you notice. Sorry, I saw something move out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, nope, but I was blinking. It was bad.
Would you like your die back?
Yes, please.
That
That was a horrible
was a
throw.
throw.
That was.
I wasn't even gonna reach for that. Sorry, no, I literally saw something like over here out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, wee!
I'll get it.
No, it's okay. I have plenty.
No, I'm gonna show my butt to stream.
I have lots of shiny. That's
You're welcome.
almost as bad as the guy from last night. What's your name, Penny?
And what? She's one of our viewers.
Oh god.
And you even notice that he has put his frog and sword on the other. Do you know what a frog is?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. I'm sorry. I just can't take that serious.
To the opposing hip.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, as you're walking on his right, there's no way that it would rub up against you. And you then realize he is left-handed.
Oh, good to know.
There's something you should not that
He does only have 5 fingers, though.
Is there a ring on one of those fingers?
Total or on each hand?
Is there a ring on one of those fingers?
There is not.
Good to know.
Well, hold on. I mean, she said he's only got 5 fingers. Like normal people
On
have
the
10
one,
fingers.
you know what? Just no. Normal people have 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. Moving on.
Wait, you mean like
I only need the 4
all
digit
thumbs
thing.
are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs?
You only need
Oh
2
my
fingers.
goodness. You have phalanges. Moving on.
Distal phalange, medial phalange, proximal phalange, dancing phalange.
Anyways,
Not my fault. My kids knew, like, yeah. Okay, so moving on.
It is too your fault. You made him watch Bones with you.
It's educational. Don't judge my parenting.
Well,
Anyways,
I had him watching
moving forward.
CSI with me. This kid is-
and then you watch NCIS with me, so
I need a hero.
Aren't you all holding out for a hero until the end of the night?
I am.
I got my hero.
He's gotta be strong. Bazinga. Oh jeez, you guys. Yeah, he offers his arm and would you like to go straight to the ambassador's quarters first and refresh yourself? Or I imagine
What
you're
time-
eager to see your mother.
What time?
It is coming
you
up
for
on
the
Thank you,
next
Krabby
house.
Patty.
Thank you, Krabby.
Aw, thank you, Krabby.
So
Just let it go. Don't hold it back anymore.
wait, so 9 bells, so is that
It's like 9 o'clock.
okay.
In the PM.
Yes.
Um
For ease of reference, after 10 bells, it switches to the lower register bells.
so it's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening.
No, it's 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock in the evening? Okay.
The bell sound just changes.
Yeah,
every
think
time.
of it like as an IF schedule instead of a normal AM PM schedule.
Okay.
It makes sense. It's just not what most people are doing.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Aww. Just no, continue. Focus.
we,
You got
Being
it.
distracted.
we don't have much time before curfew, correct?
Well, there really isn't much of a curfew. Just if anyone is caught loitering suspiciously or sleeping in the alleyways, they are either questioned or encouraged to go stay at one of the temples.
I see.
It's just less risk for everyone.
Will you stop it?
Yes.
It is getting later, so perhaps we could head to the ambassador's hall and then you can give me a tour tomorrow.
It would be my honor. I have tomorrow off. What time would you like me to come around calling for you?
I mean...
Oh, honey. That was her inviting you over.
He's a guy. He doesn't pick
I
up
somehow
any
show
events.
up.
Well, oh gosh, why am I doing this on stream?
Because you can't.
Do it!
And Pheresis is no longer in the campaign.
Well, perhaps we could have breakfast together tomorrow.
I would love to.
And you could stay
After breakfast?
tonight.
With okay. And you watch him flush a little bit and Lady Parisa, it would be my honor. Might I make a suggestion? We go stop at the ambassador's quarters and you can have a moment with your mother. And then might I suggest we go spend the evening at the Temple of Lyrikill? Goddess of Love. You're welcome.
I kind of gathered that. I'm just wondering, would Parisa necessarily know the...
She would not,
I would understand she's the goddess of love, but I wouldn't understand the full significance of it.
correct.
Okay.
The Temple of Parisa is not...
Temple of Parisa.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, did I really?
Yes, you did just now. Yeah.
You are going to consecrate this temple.
Wow, yeah. Moving up in the world.
Well, he's about to kneel in worship, so...
Parisa's a goddess.
Oh, then.
Such purity. And we'll come back. We'll come back to the DM too. So,
All right, DM is
Yeah.
on break for a few moments.
Yep.
Like,
how are those rat tracks?
Yeah, about the rat tracks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm still looking at it.
Okay. Those are rat tracks, all right.
Yeah, little silver coin.
Cool. How much is it worth?
I don't know yet. I have to get this back to town.
Okay. And Sean, how are you? How's your evening?
Oh my god!
Well, it's a little disturbing.
Okay, so, Parisa...
And we're back.
Lyrica is the goddess of love, but as you will find out if you head that way, her temple is not unlike the 13 houses.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
Right? No kidding. Sign me up. For anyone who didn't get that reference, it's a Jacqueline Carey reference to Kashiel's trilogy. Read it. You're welcome.
read it. You're welcome.
Okay.
Absolutely. DM was very broken for a moment. So I'm gonna have you guys on your way to the ambassador's quarters. As you are heading towards the temple of Marasa Rogith, hold that thought. Eric, after you were done in the field, you were heading back to the alleyways?
Yep.
Okay, Rogith and Eric, roll me perception, please.
So my passage is 15.
15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
You spot one another, heading in the same direction. Like, Eric, you're coming in this way, Rogith, you're coming up this way, and you're like, oh, hey, that's...
I'm assuming
And I'm
you
going to
were
let you
kind
guys
of
RP
admitted.
briefly because I laughed so hard I have to pee. It's all fun and games till you have kids.
What?
And so you two RP while she RPs with Zechariah.
You're not absent-minded, right?
Go ahead and go. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Then I'm just going to kind of follow you in, but what I want to do isn't going to line up with what you want to do. Because, well, it would kind of, but she'd have to help us figure this out.
Right.
Because I would ask you a question that she would have to tell you.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going to show you the coin and go, do you know anything about it?
Wait, did I hear
which
what
is
crap?
which is important because you'll know that.
Dr. Lee.
Right.
RP.
Exactly.
Dr. Leach, please be there next Saturday because it's not gonna be the same without you.
I know, right? Is he taking the day off?
No, he's not gonna be able to make that Saturday campaign.
Oh.
Speaking of which, I won't be there on Sunday.
You told me.
I have to adult next Sundays.
I hate that.
Her mom asked very politely if I would be able to pick up a shift on Sunday. And I went, I need money, yes.
Yeah, I make the boss happy.
Well, no.
No,
I need
it's
money,
making his pocket happy, his paycheck happy.
Because I'm a little bit shy until this other job kicks in. Which I probably won't see the first paycheck until December.
I was gonna say it's gonna be at least probably 3 or 4 weeks.
That's the hardest part about transitioning jobs.
Yep.
Which kind of bums me out because it's going to be a nasty day.
It's...
But I'm going to give my character to the table so they can do with Nilo as they wish.
Kill him.
Other than, you know.
Okay, what did I miss? I'm
As
only
long as
having...
Meatball doesn't die, I'm okay.
Not a lot, other than
We actually didn't know
It
to talk
doesn't
about
they've
that.
met each
Oh,
other.
guys, 'cause you
They have a
can
question
decide.
for you to clarify when they meet each other.
Yeah, because he looks absent-minded, so I'm just going to kind of wander in behind him and watch him for a minute.
Okay.
And
My
then
hip pocket.
tap him on his shoulder.
He seems to be wandering towards the temple.
Mm-hmm. And it's, yeah, we clarified that much.
Oh, copy.
And I'm just going to kind of walk up behind him. I have a question
Rogus?
for you.
Rogus.
Yes.
Do you know what this is?
Coin.
You immediately have a weird pit in your stomach when you see it, as it is the symbol of Marasa. But the way the keys are crossed are the exact manner that the manacles were crossed, except it's 2 keys instead of a set of manacles.
How are the keys shaped?
They look like skeleton keys. And they are identical, except one appears to be a little lighter and one appears to be a little bit rougher. I mean, it's not colored, it's just silver, but one appears smooth and one appears a little
Like
grainy.
Put some detail in.
Yes,
Okay.
but otherwise the shape of the keys themselves are identical. Just one seems shaded a little bit darker than the other.
But I don't
You're
know
not
exactly.
there. Driving you crazy.
I don't know exactly what it means, but it's. Do I actually? You know what? I'm going to open my senses, my pally senses.
Ooh. Okay.
No.
Ooh. You.
I forgot to ask you that.
How do I want to do this? Your pally senses, a lot hits you at once. You feel the sense of peace and calm and connection as you are right outside the Temple of Marasa, and you feel a lot of good. But there's an undercurrent. Think of an orchestra, but that one stupid violinist in the back is off by like half a step. And sometimes you can't, I mean, everything seems fine, and there's just that
One note.
little feel of off. And I need you both to roll me one more perception.
All the performance arts.
Hey,
kids are
Captain
twitching.
Sodabeard, welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back, Sodabeard.
Hey.
Eric,
22.
15.
you do not see it. Eric, you notice that there is a rat sitting in the shadow of the alleyway that seems to be watching you quite intently.
Now, I forgot to ask this previously, and it's kind of important.
Yes.
Are they fiendish by nature?
Oh yeah.
As the
Ooh.
rats are drinking away.
Shut up, I'm talking about you.
Oh, that's what.
Please
that is.
hold.
I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Sorry, I actually have to look at that.
Yeah, exactly that, Dr. Leach, I understand. And yes, huzzah, we see the Zodabeard.
They are not.
Okay.
Sorry, that took me
Okay.
a second. And as soon as he points it out, you see it.
Okay. And I'm doing it as subtle as possible with my back to the rat.
As far as the
Yeah, it hasn't moved.
coin looks, it's very similar to the symbol of Marasa, but I don't think it's of her.
I'll be right back. I have somebody I need to talk to.
I'll wait for you.
And it seems like this rat has just nonchalantly used the shadow of the building to kind of edge its way closer.
Is it whistling nonchalantly?
I am going to
Has a
Keeping-
newspaper up in front of it.
keeping
Yes.
my peripheral on the creature. I'm going to start walking like I'm heading back toward the alleyway where the kids were,
Okay.
and I want to circle back on the rat. But the reason I'm watching it is I want to see if it's paying attention to me specifically.
Which one of you did you give
Nope.
Rogat the
It's
coin?
still on me.
Okay.
And I'm going to be essentially playing dumb, so to speak, but I'm keeping it in my peripheral too, just looking about going.
It seems to appear as if it's moseying along, but it's keeping its eyes on Eric.
Alright. This will be fun. I'm going to use my skills to vanish into the shadows.
Roll me a stealth.
You.
22.
Close. You, as you're walking, you kind of edge up to the building and literally become one with the shadows.
Mm.
And you watch as all of a sudden, as it's nonchalantly plodding along, it has this panicked sense like it can't find something, and it's sniffing the air. Its head is up, and for the briefest moment, as it looks around again like it can't see anything, you swear you see a flash of green in its eyes. And it gets up against a building and starts to go back in the direction of the Temple of Marasa.
I will now sneak up on it. Nonchalantly.
With your newspaper.
Nonchalantly.
Oh, nope. I'm going to pull a Kakashi.
Yep.
Okay, Rogus, what are you doing?
Well, I'm waiting for my friend to return from wherever it is he's at and keeping an eye on the rodent.
Okay, you do watch the road, like, try to follow him, then lose him, and then you're kind of like, where did... You don't see him either. And you see the rodent turn, go back to the edge of the building, and start to head towards the Temple of Marasa, and his path will have to come within 10 feet of yours.
Okay.
If he goes as the crow flies.
Okay. I'm going to
As the rat flies.
pace a little back and forth.
Okay, like you're lost in thought, or...
Mm-hmm. But I'm also twirling around my warhammer.
Okay. The rat is like Link in Zelda waiting for the guards to finish their padding. And is you kind of got your peripheral on him.
Mm-hmm. Am I sensing anything from this rat? Because of the pally senses?
That's that undercurrent you were feeling.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have an idea of what he's up to, so...
And as you turn, Eric, you see the rat pause and briefly watch as Rogoth is pacing back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And as Rogoth turns his back to go this way, you watch the rat get ready to make a beeline past him.
How far away am I from this?
You are within 10 feet of him at this point.
Then we are going to have a challenge. What? You don't say.
He's
One of the
those are
dogs
sleeping
is
and he
dreaming.
dreams. And when he dreams, he talks in his sleep.
That's adorable, actually.
Okay, I'm going to do it that way. I am going to reach into my pack, and I have a disguise kit. I am going to reach into my pack and grab one of the shirts that I have in there.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And as I pull it out, get it ready, and when it starts to move, I am going to leap out and scoop it up in my shirt.
Roll me a dexterity.
Nice.
20. Unless you give me
Nice.
proficiency.
You know what? Would it be higher if you did sleight of hand?
Yes.
What would be sleight of hand?
22.
I will give you that.
Okay.
Holy crap.
What rat?
I
You
spent the last few years being a rogue.
whip this shirt out, and you get it.
Mhm.
And you whip the shirt around, and instantly you hear what sounds like an angry serpent. It doesn't sound like a rat. You hear this hissing, and the sound shakes you a little bit. I mean, it's creepy. Roguth, instantly you were watching with your peripheral. You saw the rat start to move, and then you saw Eric jump out with a shirt, and the sound is irritating your pally senses. And you feel your symbol almost as if it itches on your hand for a brief moment. Sorry, Jeff.
And I am going to do what I can to cinch up the shirt.
Okay, you have it restrained quite well, but it's
it's going to go into my backpack now.
It's squirming.
That's fine.
It's squirming vermin.
I'm going to slap it in the backpack, close up the backpack so it can't get out, and I am going to... Well, you feel like making a side trip?
Might as well.
I'm
curious to see as to where this goes.
Oh, we're going to have to ask somebody for this. I'm going to walk into the Temple of Marasa
Okay.
with my squirming backpack.
There is a priestess that the moment you cross the threshold, her head... What have you brought into this temple?
Oh, it will be here for a very short amount of time, I promise.
And her nose kind of wrinkles up a little bit.
I need to know where some sort of legal barracks, captain of the guard, something like that. Preferably as high as I can possibly get.
I was about to say.
Captain Zachariah would be just getting off duty.
Oh, he is.
You're not there.
Otherwise, there's the captain coming on watch should be up by the palace barracks.
Is Zachariah higher in rank than this other one?
Yes.
Okay, and where would I go to find Zachariah as he is just getting off shift?
Most likely the guardhouse.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm going to head to the guardhouse.
Okay, you go back to the guardhouse from whence you came.
Yep.
And you are informed that Zachariah just left with Lady Parisa on his arm, and they were heading towards the ambassador's building.
Thank you.
And chase pursues.
Walking this whole city with his backpack.
Whack! Drop in there.
Agathor.
But that is my ultimate goal, though, is to make sure this thing does not escape my bag.
Behave, Travi. We're not there yet.
For now. Agathor, what are you up to?
Well, that's a good question. I wasn't given any instructions for anything to do. I will head back to the. Well, you know what? No, I'll head off to the. I was told to go to the ambassador's quarters or whatever, the ambassador's hut for sleeping. I don't know what they call it. What do you want to call it?
Ambassador's hut.
Yeah, what should I call it?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Yeah, there is a word for that. Yeah.
What's the word for a place where ambassadors are?
The ambassadors.
The ambassador.
So I'll head there.
Okay, so
because that was the game plan. Let's meet back up there.
Parisa,
Yeah.
you and Zachariah arrive at the embassy, and you are welcomed. Yes, Eric.
If there is great distance, I would try and find a coach.
There is not a coach.
The city as this, it doesn't have coaches.
It's late in the
They
evening.
don't have any sports teams.
All right.
Everyone here is first class.
Being as I am of the urchin background, I can move twice as fast
Yes.
as the city, so.
Taking that into account.
I'm trying to hurry. Best as I can.
Agathor, you are on your way to the embassy.
Okay.
Parisa, you and Zachariah arrive at the embassy. You are welcomed, told, just, let them know whatever you need. Mentions made that you have you have other arrangements for the evening.
Yes, I do.
And it's up to you whether or not you go into detail about those arrangements. But they let you know that there are rooms available, but your mother is in a meeting and will probably be there late into the night. And you're encouraged that maybe in the morning.
Yep, I was about to say that I will see her in the morning.
It's a matter of state, which you're used to. And you and Zachariah go to leave. As you are leaving the courtyard of the embassy, you see Akathor.
Oh, hey again.
Because there's not a whole lot of room between.
Yeah.
They're way closer. Coming up the street towards the embassy.
Where are you heading to?
A temple.
Oh, really? What temple? I just came from a temple. Where are you going?
I am showing her around some of the city this evening.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Ouch. Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? You knocked me into the dirt twice today.
I understand you've been on the road and you must be so weary your perception isn't what it should be, which is why I am escorting the lady this evening.
So,
whoa! Wow!
There is some serious shade being thrown around here.
Like,
You get some shade, and you get some shade. Everybody gets some shade.
it's Miracle?
Yes.
Yes, I remember.
Proud of you.
Advantage.
I don't think you can technically give advantage.
He can't.
Okay.
Oh.
Proud of you.
We are headed to the Temple of Lyrical.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It will be. Maybe you should get some rest.
You two have a wonderful
We will. I promise it.
Oh, okay. Creepy. I will. Would you like some company? Do you need an escort? No, you don't need an escort. Okay, well, I will. I'm still holding my stick, by the way. That's what I'm doing. I will see you on the morrow then.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You two, take care.
We shall. And as this awkward exchange is ending,
Wait, is this awkward?
Eric and Rogan, you guys come walking
Oh,
up.
awesome, Captain of the Watch. I really need to talk to you about something.
Yes, it's a matter of certain importance.
It is dire. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It looks like you're having a fascinating day.
Is your backpack moving?
Yes, my backpack is moving.
Oh.
Give that fireball!
Oh god. Yeah, we deserve it. We deserve it. Alright, kill us all.
I have waited.
We're all
If
gonna die
this
in a
happens,
minute.
I am gonna laugh my ass off.
Would you like me to roll?
Yes, actually I would. Roll a d20 if it is a 1.
It's a 20.
Woo!
Wasn't it supposed to be a 1?
No.
No, it was supposed to be a 20.
Oh God.
Good thing we're healed up. Way to go, Craig.
Just for you.
Okay, so hold on.
No, this is hilarious. What is there to apologize for? Have a wonderful date night.
Oh my God!
Sorry,
this just happened.
Do you remember it can't kill anything?
She says she's gonna lose her boyfriend. Every boyfriend she gets this kid is gonna die.
The good news?
Yeah, the players can't die.
Yeah,
We
the-
never said anything.
Now, there is one really good thing about this whole thing. Nothing will happen to the rat.
Because anything that I am carrying or wearing
Oh,
cannot burst into flames.
But we're
It is
holding
Well,
I'm carrying it.
it. Oh, carrying. Okay.
well, just hold on.
What do you need?
The rat cannot explode.
How many D6s do you need?
8.
I have 5 in my hand.
There's 4 right here.
6. Hold on, I think
Okay,
I actually have
you
7.
got
I have it. Thank
All
you.
right.
So I'm gonna RP this in a little bit. I need everyone to make me a perception check.
Do you want me to roll for Captain Dude?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's fine.
You too?
Yeah.
That is... He rolled a 1.
Oh.
That was a no nat one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So maybe we should save that for the.
Whatever you guys want.
Unless you guys want to save it for the dex save that's coming up.
You know.
No,
we-
give it to Zachariah because he can't die.
Okay. That's better.
16 on the die. I don't know what his pluses are, so.
Okay. He has a plus 5.
Okay.
You're gonna
so
fight for
pretty
him.
much.
You're trying to kill him.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2.
Oh, wow.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna keep that damage aside, but just for the record, it is 10, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is a weak fireball. It's 23.
Okay.
But we'll just hold that number in your head for a moment.
That is a weak fire.
Everyone's perception, Eric.
23.
Roget.
15.
Zachariah.
21.
Parisa.
24.
Akathor.
26.
Hot damn.
Too hot.
Not 20.
Oh.
Fine.
Can't have him either. He's dead.
Wow. When I told you
Damn
red
it.
flags to watch out for in relationships, that's one.
Dude, if that's seriously the motivation, Krabby, I am worried. That is messed up.
That is,
No, I can't have him. You won't have him either.
that is sociopathic tendency right there.
Oh gosh.
So all of you see, for the briefest moment, on a nearby rooftop, what looks like a beautiful young woman. Looks pretty frickin' familiar. And then all of a sudden,
Ex-girlfriend of
the
yours?
symbol in your hand, Rogith,
Mhm.
feels hot. And then it almost looks as if she's reaching forward to try it, and this look of horror comes on her face, and all you see is, no! And then there's this burst of flame that erupts right in between all of you. And you are all laying on the ground. The embassy doors open, people start pouring out. You guys feel like NCIS characters after an explosion. You know?
Well,
Yes?
I mean,
do we get the dex save from the fireball?
Yes.
Alright. DC.
Well, I'm sorry, what was
hold
it?
on.
Oh, the perception was to see the woman on the...
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, I combined the two rolls.
Yeah,
Thank
and-
you, Thaco. DC 15.
What is Zachariah's plus for her save?
For Dex, it's 4.
Okay.
And what did
Anybody
Zachariah
get
get?
under 15?
17.
Anybody get under 15?
I got 15.
I got a.
Alright, as long as everyone got 15 or higher, you're taking half, so that's 11.
Ouch.
Still
Still.
hurts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when you guys open your eyes, the woman is gone.
Okay.
But she appeared to be dressed in white, silky robes.
Yes, we saved
Krabby.
Krabby.
That was awesome, Krabby.
Alright, and moderator privilege mute.
Oh! No, you can't mute my Krabby.
I did not mute Krabby.
No, we don't love you, Krabby. We love you.
That was amazing.
That was well done.
I mean, that was the perfect net
That was
fireball.
well-
I mean, it was very well timed, and
Alright, so everything just exploded around us, and we don't know why.
No, the embassy doors open. People are coming out. What happened? Are you alright? Someone call a healer. I mean, it's...
and all I'm doing is
lots
staring
of
up at where
chaos.
she was.
At this point in time, I have the rat clutched to my chest.
Okay, in your backpack?
In the
or...
backpack.
Okay.
That way it can't bite me.
My lady, are you alright? And Parisa, Zachariah, as
No.
it happened, while you were being flung backwards, he tried to like reach and shield you, but there was just no way to tell where everything was coming from.
Mm-hmm. Is he okay?
He looks hurt, but he's okay.
He's amongst the living.
Well, maybe I found something bigger than I thought I found.
Perhaps.
As I was trying to say, I found, and I'm assuming the bag is still
Yes.
going crazy.
What?
I
This
found
is your.
I found this.
Doing that.
Thank you, Nosy.
Yeah, this really gets on that. There's
No, he didn't die, football chick.
nobody's dead, just hurted. There's one of your spy rats in this.
He looks over and this heartbroken look like.
I found it by the Temple of Marasa. They seem to be doing a lot of work around there. I did some digging and found a lot of information about them.
You hear, also in Parisa, you hear a very familiar voice. Everyone in the embassy now!
Okay.
Me too?
Yes, mother.
Damn.
I'm just going up, me too?
And the look you're getting is a very much, yes, you too. As this beautiful Loxley woman, who, and you can tell she's Parisa's mom, but she definitely has an air of authority about her, and she's dictating where, people need to be and go. Healer's already been sent for. She's very much calm, in the moment, and in control, and even Zachariah is absolutely deferring, offers to help you up off the ground, Parisa, and we will pick up next time with you all heading into the embassy.
I want to make one comment before everything wraps up.
Okay.
I'm going to turn and look at you. I wonder if she's got her mother's blessing.
Find out next time on Nerevis.
This road goes.
Thank you everyone for an absolutely fantastic night. Chat, you guys make this. Thank you to my players for being invested and taking a risk on a story that was not really normal and trying something new. I'm having a blast with it.
Blast. Get it?
The chat is the ones that were having a blast. Krabby Patty.
And
Any
if
announcements?
you would like to make your DM notes for us,
Bye, Zoda.
we have 2 floating.
Yes, so there are 2 floating nat 20s out there, and there is a no nat 1 floating.
No,
Not anymore.
No,
We
there's not.
usually
That's
use
correct.
the numbers.
There are 2 nat 20s out there floating. Tomorrow is Sand and Magic, also
There's
known as S&M, which almost happened tonight
right. We are.
at the Temple of Parisa, apparently.
If you take a look on the stream, we are looking to hit X number of followers. I think it was 250 and 25 subscribers. When we hit those marks, we will have giveaways for them. And there's a possibility of another giveaway coming up soon. We will announce that as soon as we have details. Other than that, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And
9.
thank you.